We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me watching the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Department of Education is about to go bye-bye. It's about to be a thing of the past. The federal one, that is. You're still going to be able to get your little amenities and whatnot, but the Fed will not be able to dominate local school districts as they try to do. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have a UN judge from Uganda being convicted of slavery. Slavery is still a very big thing all over this world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, and Canyon stripe. People are enslaved, and they're slavers, regardless of what color they are, all over this world. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about slavery, 500,000 migrants are getting up out of here because a temporary, keyword temporary, program has come to an end. Hey, all things, I ain't gonna say good things, but all things at a certain point got to come to an end. Everything don't last forever, especially when the program is called temporary from the very beginning. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Cori Bush's husband, Courtney Merritt's, getting locked up for PPP fraud. How you gonna steal $20,000 when you got $150 from her to be a security guard? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the very best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you're enjoying the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening. I don't know about y'all, but I like what I'm seeing from the president so far. Promises made, promises kept. And this is a rare thing for politicians to do. It's rare. Like, okay, a politician will come in and say, hey, I'm going to do this, that, and the third. Well, Obama say, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. A lie. Oh, the vax, safe and effective. Well, Trump said some of that too, but that's a different story. We know what that was. We know what the whole vax thing was. That was a deep state, Anthony Fauci. That was them. And a lot of people thought, you know what? This would be a good idea. Let's go ahead and get everybody on the same page. Let's go ahead and make this happen. They thought it was a good idea. I knew from the jump that it was not going to be a good idea because it's a brand new vax for a flu. If I didn't get the flu shot ever in my adult life, why would I turn around and get the vax? You know, crazy things happen. But at the end of the day, promises made, promises kept. Trump said, I'm going to do this, and then this happens. Trump says, I'll do that, and then that happens. So that's all you can really ask for. If you vote for a person because of what they promise and they fulfill their promises, I'm not mad at all. I am not mad at all. So shout out to you guys again for joining. I really, really appreciate y'all. Exactly, Maria. Maria says, I respect people who keep their word. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, keep your word. Whatever you say you're going to do, go ahead and do that. If you get in office and all of a sudden, oh, well, we didn't anticipate this. People just say whatever they think will get them elected. And then when they get elected, they do whatever they want to do. Okay. But I'm glad this president is a man of his word. We're going to get the migrants out. We're going to shut the border off. I like what I'm seeing so far, for sure. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Salty coming from Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Okay. Back in the 757. Okay, somebody coming from Oregon. Okay, Lisa says, no one is talking about how a Canadian furniture company moved to North Carolina. But I thought Justin Trudeau said, don't buy any American products. Don't buy Florida orange juice. Don't buy American whiskey. Don't go to Florida. But you got whole companies moving to the United States of America. I think people begin to vote with their wallet and they vote with their feet. If they want to spend money with us, if they want to move here, I think that says that we are the top dog. Listen, I think at this point, and part of the reason why I was so upset with Macron the French president, prime minister, whatever they want to call that guy over there. The reason why I was upset with him is because how dare you talk to one of the big three? You are barely able to keep relevance as a European nation. You're pretty much a tourist trap. Okay, we're going to go to Paris and see the dirtiest city in the world. I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. We're going to go to Paris and see dirt and crime and violence, or we're going to go south of France and we got to at least have $1.5 million in cash in our pocket to even enter. Like, it's a tourist trap and an S-hole, as Trump would say. Why do I want to go there, and why do I want to hear from them about anything? We're the big dogs. Everybody wants to come to the United States. China, they're a big dog in their neck of the woods. Russia, big dog in their neck of the woods. Maybe in India might be able to say something because they got so many people. They got over 1 billion people. Maybe a Brazil, maybe, but not even Brazil. I respect Brazil and what they're trying to do, but nah. If you're China, Russia, talk to me. But beyond that, nah. And Canada, y'all better not say a word. If anything, Canada should be supportive of the United States. Because without us, there is no Canada or Mexico. Well, I might not be saying a whole lot, but I put it to you this way. Without the United States, where would these countries be? Where would the whole world be? We're the engine that makes this whole world operate. If not for the USA, you would have medieval living standards all over the world, much more than what it is right now. Y'all be picking fruits and berries and stuff like this without the USA. Not everyone, but some of y'all. That's what would be going on. More than what's happening right now today. Everyone wants to be right here. But yeah, shout out to the Canadians who recognize what's going on and they say, you know what? I don't like what's happening in my country. I don't like the very liberal, far left, progressive things they got going on. I'm going to go to the USA and we're going to make this money. So shout out to the Canadian companies coming to the USA. Shout out to the Canadian people who recognize what's happening with their country and they don't like it. And they support what we got going on over here more than what's happening in their country of origin. So yeah, shout out to them. All right. Vaccine saved the world. I mean, what vaccines are we talking about exactly? What, the COVID-19 vaccination? I don't think so. I think that was a flu. And people die of the flu all the time, yet we got the flu shot. People get the flu shot every year and catch the flu every year. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily anti-vaccine, but I think that if you want to get it, go ahead. I don't think that it should be forced by the government, nor do I think that all vaccines are without side effects. We see ever since we've been vaccinating our children more and more. I'm reading some stuff about the vaccine schedule, how many shots these kids got to take, and it's crazy. It's out of this world. It's too many. Is there a coincidence that you have a rise in autism with the rise in childhood vaccinations? Okay, I'm talking about not necessarily the prevalence of childhood vaccinations, but the quantity of the vaccinations that they get. They get a lot of these things. And with the increase in vaccinations, you also have an increase in autism. Some are going to say correlation, causation, but something's going on. Something's wrong. We got to figure it out. So until someone can say there's no link, this is what's causing it, I'm going to be cautious about any vaccination, especially a brand new vaccination. Why would I want to get that? Why would I want to put that in my body? Now they want to come out and say, oops, sorry, we apologize. We did too much. We were misled. We were hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. It's like y'all were bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray. I was not buying it from the very beginning. As soon as they said vaccination for COVID, I'm like, nope, no, thank you. If you want to take it, go ahead, but I'm good. Okay, I am good. I'd have been all around the country. I'd have been outside. I'd have been in public bathrooms, the whole 9 yards. Okay. I done all that in airport bathrooms, doing number 1 and number 2, and I'm chilling. Okay, I'm here. I'm healthy. I feel good. No myocarditis, no pericarditis, none of that. Okay. So, but if you got the vaccination and you wanted to do that, then hey, my hat's off to you. That's your choice, but not for me. Okay. What is this cat droning on about? Your mama. That's what I'm droning on about. Okay, ask your mama what I'm talking about. I think she knows exactly what this guy on the internet is droning on about. All right, but now shout out to you, Chris. I appreciate you for your comment. Okay, let me see. Ivermectin works. It sure does. It 100% does. When they call it horse paste, I got a video about that because Joe Rogan confronted the doctor that goes on CNN a lot, the Indian guy. He confronted him. I got to show you guys that video for sure. All right, that was definitely a good video. Exactly, Ron Patton. I'm no lab rat either. I am no lab rat. So, hey, if you want to get that vax, go ahead. But me, I'm good. Yeah, and also that's something else, Ned Rec. That's a good name, by the way. Immunity from lawsuits. Exactly. So they knew that there was some risk involved. And when people got injured, they wanted to sue, but they were able to finagle it to where they were immune from that. I was like, when I was hearing about that too, when it came out, I'm like, can't sue them. Why would that even be a thing you're worried about? Because you know automatically that there will be some injuries. There will be injuries, and that's just what it is. All right. But yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. Shout out to Mia Love. That's really sad what happened to her. Yeah, a lot more cancers in young people. I don't know what happened to Mia Love. She has brain cancer, and she doesn't have too much longer to live. If you guys don't know who Mia Love is, she's a former, I think she was in Congress, if I'm not, she might have been in the House, U.S. House, from Utah, black woman, a Republican. And she is now dying of brain cancer. Okay. And if you guys don't know who that is, hold on. Can I show you this right quick? And if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Get a video a thumbs up. So this is her right here. All right. I remember when I was first on YouTube, like 2015, 2016. I think she made a big splash back then. Okay. So let me show you guys this right here. All right. And there we go. So that's her. And then she's writing like an op-ed as she passes away. It's really sad. So I don't know what happened, how she got cancer, but she has brain cancer. And she's like my age. She's a little bit older than me. She's like 49 years old. Yeah, that's pretty rough. So I want you guys to take care of yourselves. I don't want to see any of you guys running around here, big backs. Yeah, we don't want nobody out here not taking care of themselves, not putting the correct things in their body. I don't know what happened to Mia Love, what caused the cancer. I have no clue. But what I want you guys to do is take care of yourself so you can prevent illness and disease. Can you stop everything by being fit? No, you can't, but you can most certainly prevent it. All righty. But we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys. Again, I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, also, RIP to Big George Foreman. Okay, the legendary boxer, salesman, Christian George Foreman. He died at 76 years old. Okay, there was people talking about, oh, I wonder if he got the shot. It's like, okay, sometimes everything is not about the shot. You're 76 years old. I mean, right around that age, people might pass away. You never know what could have been going on. Of course, he had a long career as a boxer, getting punched in the head over and over again. That can't help you with your life expectancy, and training very hard. You never know what could contribute to somebody's death, but he was 76 years old. But again, RIP George Foreman, one of the best to ever do it. I saw the fight he had with Michael Moorer. That might have been his last fight or his next to last fight when he had came back. And he was old. He was like in his 40s. And he couldn't really move, but he could still hit. And he hit Michael Moorer. Michael Moorer was much younger than him. He hit him like standing still, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He hit him right in his jaw, and it was like the dude's face. It was like it was a hotel room, and he checked out. He was standing up like in fighting mode, but he got hit so hard by George Foreman, who was old at the time, like in his 40s, and Michael Moorer was like 10, 15 years younger. But that power was still there. All of this right here, all of this side of his face, it was like it was frozen in time. He didn't know what to do. He hit him 2 more times, and then still boom, boom, and he was on the ground, like dead, basically. I was like, oh my God, imagine getting hit like that by a man that's like about to be 50 years old. So moral of that story is never underestimate some of these old guys. Okay, you got a young guy and he's picking a fight with an old guy thinking that, oh, he can't fight, he can't move. He will stomp you completely in the wine. I done seen the old guy beat up a young guy, and it's it's an ugly sight. I done seen the old guy slam a young guy right on top of his head. Boom. I was like, yikes, man, what did he do? Anyway, he was 45 years old. Yeah, that was crazy. And Michael Moore was like in his 20s, wasn't he? Or he was like early, like 31, like real young. That old man's strength is 100% real. Yeah, and I know George could probably still hit even before he passed away. 70 years old, punch you right in the head, and you be like, man, you be ready to call the police. Like, hello? Yeah, George Foreman just hit me. I know he's 75 years old, but I'm about to die right now. Please come send an ambulance. George Foreman hit me. So yeah, shout out to George Foreman, one of the best to ever do it. All right, but we got a whole lot going on here. And before I get to any videos, thank y'all for joining. Of course, you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Shout out to the sponsors, of course. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. Again, ablmerch.com. ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, the mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. There we have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, we have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic. And I heard Jake Tapper or somebody on CNN say agnostic when referring to political ideology. You got that from me, and it's totally fine. Thank you for watching. But anyway, I'm just playing, maybe a little bit. But go to the front page of the website if you want to see sources and a summary for each video. I got everything on there. Check it out. As long as it's legal, it'll be right there on the front page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. Also, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on these interwebs or not, use a little bit of common sense, okay? If someone says, if you send me the money today, I can give you some money back. Give me $25 in Apple iTunes gift cards. Go to your local grocery store and give me the cards today. If somebody's talking to you like that on the phone and you call on the number and it has 45 digits, crazy, ridiculous, the service is bad, listen, you're not talking to ABL. You're talking to somebody over Lagos, Nigeria, or if it's an Eastern European accent, it's going to be some dude named Boris, Vladimir, Drazen. I don't know, one of these names that got 15 consonants, no vowels in it. He's going to be 800 pounds, covered head to toe in borched. Sausages, all that kind of stuff all over the place. You don't want to get scammed by these guys. Or it's going to be one of these Indian dudes. They scamming hard too. It'd be a whole office full of 1,000 Indian dudes whose main job is to scam you. I would do their voice. I would do the Apu Simpson's voice, but I don't have that one ready to roll yet. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Please don't get scammed. They're getting more advanced. They're getting more clever. But I want you to know that if anyone says they're ABL, it's not me. I promise it's not. You're only going to receive email if you email me first on my official email address, which is on the website, contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. Again, my email is on the contact page of the website, and it's contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. I'm never going to email you first because I don't know your email address, okay? If you send me something, maybe I'll respond, but I do read you guys' emails, and I appreciate y'all for all the tips and the very kind words. All righty. But we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. I saw a super chat I wanted to read before we get to some videos. Michael Critchlove says, "What's the tallest man in America? RIP, Portsmouth native and former Harlem Globetrotter, George Bell. Is that your cousin? I'm seeing ABL jeans." I used to see him in Portsmouth. I remember him. I saw him one time in the store, like in Home Depot. He was real tall. And he used to always take people asking him how tall he was, but he would tell you, or he might try to play around with you. But he was very tall. What, like 7 foot tall? Like beyond 7 foot tall? Yeah, he was very, I'm talking like, what, 7'5", 7'6"? Yeah. But nah, that's not my cousin, but it could be. Like I said, we come from the original Virginia. So right there in Portsmouth, the whole 7-city area, a lot of them been there since the 1600s. So that could be, you know, one of my family members that got shipped off, they got traded, they got sold or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, RIP George Bell. I did see him in Portsmouth, very tall, like you looking way up in the sky. That might have been them dudes' daddy that I saw in Old Country Buffet, them two transgenders. Because I'm like, how do you get 2 7-foot tall transgenders? Like, what part of the game is that? I've never seen that before or since, and I don't want to see it no more. But anyway, shout out to everybody that's super tall like that. Out here just rocking and rolling in these streets. And RIP again to George Bell. All right, Portsmouth, Virginia native. Now, we got a whole lot happening. There's a whole lot going on. Oh, this right here, this video I'm about to show you has got to be my favorite video that I've seen on the interwebs recently. Okay, at least one of my favorite. It's got to be. All right, let's go ahead and show it right here. A lot of y'all probably already done seen this. Now, the context is there's an argument on the subway over somebody's MAGA hat, of course. People get triggered by that MAGA hat. And the lady who is arguing with the young man tries to take the hat toward the end, but it doesn't end too well for her. All right, let's check it out, shall we?
That's why he won. Because people like you. That's why he won. That is why he won, because of people like you who need to stop it. Let him live.
Bro, just like, bro, chill, bro.
You're okay with that? He's a racist.
I'm okay. How can I be racist?
He's a racist.
Okay with it.
If you fucking voted for Trump, you're a racist. He's a racist.
How can I be racist?
No, he's not. Leave him alone.
Doesn't watch the news.
You realize he wants to be Democratic.
I'm highly educated.
Oh, are you? Then why are you wearing that hat?
Everything's going up for I don't know how long. The Democrats been running New York since who knows how long. But then Trump comes in and just fixes it.
Alright, well, this is my stuff. I hope you enjoy the hat.
Oh, she tried to attack her.
Hey, you know what? Hey, hold on. Can we go back a little bit? Now, you're trying to chase after the young man. Like, what are you even doing? Just what are you thinking about? You letting your inner thoughts, your inner demon take over, okay? And you're out here running, and you got to ask yourself, right here when she's trying to chase after him, she has to ask, when's the last time that I've ever sprinted? When's the last time I've ever done anything beyond a light jog, ever? And you realize when she's starting to run, I can't really run very well. My balance is not very good. I don't have the endurance. I don't have the balance. I don't weigh what I used to weigh back in the day. So now I'm about to fall on the ground. And this young dude, look at him, high stepping. The posture is right. He's getting it. And what she's getting is a big face full of that New York City subway floor, which is not going to be very good. Boom. And then she gets up to run again. And it's like, okay, lady, I know you want to redeem yourself. I understand. But what you should do is take a moment to say, you know what? That wasn't very smart of me to try and run after this young man with this hat. I didn't fail. I didn't bust my head open on the ground. How about I just retreat and say, you know what? He got it. He has a hat. He's long gone. Let me just stop. But yeah, shout out to her. Hey, I love that. I love it. Karma, instant, immediate, instant karma. I love it. Fantastic. But yeah, if I fall face first on the New York City subway floor, man, you know what? I can't really say too much. I gotta just take whatever I got. You're like, you know what? Yeah, you got it. Never mind. That's my fault. Yeah, exactly. Serves her right. That's what she gets. That is what she gets. You know, I'm never going to be so upset at someone over their clothing to where I'm going to crash out like that and fall on my hind parts. It's just not worth it. Okay, you want to see that? Hold on. I think what I'm going to do, I can post links, but I'm not going to post it right here. What you guys got to do, I want you guys to go to my Twitter. Hold on. I'm going to retweet this right now on my Twitter. Anthony B. Logan, or X, pardon me. It'll be right there. Check it out. Okay, now, a male was allowed to race in the girls' 400-meter varsity race. Okay, a male was allowed to run in the girls' 400-meter varsity race. This might be high school, if I'm not mistaken. Now, look how ridiculous this is. Now, you see one person right here, right? You think that, oh, he just out there practicing. Nah. The race is happening. The race is ongoing, but he is so far out in front, you don't even see anybody else in the frame that I'm showing you right now. You'll see him in a minute. Watch. Look at this, man. Look at this. How is this fair? How is this fair? Anyone who may be a trans ally or something like this, can you explain to me how this is fair?
Come
on, Kelly!
Look at this dude, man. Like, seriously. I mean, come on. Like, stop it. Stop it. You know what? At this point, I think the majority of Americans understand that this is not okay. So what needs to happen is when there's a man in a race against women or a boy racing against girls, all the female competitors need to boycott. All of them. Because if they participate in the race, they're allowing it to happen, and it's unfortunate. They have to quit. It's unfortunate they got to do that, but they need to do that because this can't go on. Now, do you see the actual difference here? Look, that right there, that's a regular girl. Okay, these are regular girls. Okay, do you see the difference here? I mean, I think we all understand a little bit of common sense. We have common sense, and we're not going to do stuff like this. But not everyone has the common sense that we have as regular people. Okay, irregulars, they think a little bit different than we do. Okay, now speaking about transformers and whatnot in high school and college competing against women, remember the whole kerfuffle between Trump and the governor of Maine? Okay, Janet Mills. If you don't remember, I'm going to give you a brief recap, and then I'm going to give you an update. Yes, there is an update.
I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a.
So there we go. I mean, I loved that confrontation because it shows leadership. Okay, Trump says, here's executive order. Men shall not compete in women's sports. And if you defy this executive order, you don't get any federal funding. Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, was trying to defy that, talking about we're following the law. No. Here's the order, follow it or don't get the funding. Now, here's an update. All right, here is the update. Now, look, University of Maine complies with policies restricting trans sports participation, okay? So the university, look, Maine says, okay, we have no choice but to actually comply. So the subhead, university's announcement came after Trump administration alleged that the school system had violated Title IX by allowing trans women to compete in female sports. So the governor caved, they caved, and that's a good thing. That is a great thing. It's unfortunate we had to kind of threaten people to get that done. It should be very simple. Okay, here's executive order, follow it. Why wouldn't you want to follow it? Why would you want boys to compete against girls? Why would you want men to compete against women? It shouldn't have to be an order. It shouldn't have to be a threat. But hey, it is, it was, and now we got results as a result. So shout out to Trump for making things happen. Promises made, promises kept. Now, let's go to Kash Patel, our brand new FBI director. He says there's some corruption in the FBI. There's bad people there. He's going to get them out of there. All right, let's hear from Kash.
I want the American public to know, too, we've had problems at the FBI. We are going to hold ourselves internally accountable for those meting out justice who have the privilege to serve and wear the gun and the badge or the uniform of the FBI out in the field. Where those missteps have been taken, we've already addressed that by eliminating those people from the roles of the FBI, and we will continue to vigorously uphold on a 24/7, 365 basis, as vigorously as we pursue violent crime, those that abuse or corrupt or violate their oath of office at the FBI, and I will not stand for it. I will have zero tolerance for those that we will utilize our badge to harm our country. I want the American public.
There we go. So again, shout out to Kash Patel. Hey man, we're rooting for you. We want everything to go well during your tenure as FBI director, because there's so much corruption. There's so much just nonsense happening within the government, within the branches, within these agencies, within everything. There's so much corruption going on. So I'm glad we got a fighter like Kash Patel in there. All right. So shout out to Kash. Now, here's something else from another one of our newly appointed members of government, Howard Lutnick. Remember, I showed you guys Howard Lutnick when he's talking about the potential for no taxes for Americans making less than $150 a year. I showed you guys him then, but he also mentioned that he wants to have a gold visa. If you have $5 million, you're able to buy your citizenship. And he said he already sold 1,000 of these $5 million cards. That's $5 billion. Okay, that's $5 billion. It's quite a bit of money. And Trump's plan is to sell 1 million. That's the plan. Now, think about this. In the past 4 years, we had at least 20 million illegal aliens pour into the country from all over the place. Central America, South America, island nations, Africa, Europe, Asia. Every country on planet Earth, for the most part, 190 countries tried to come into the country illegally. 190 countries. If you watch the mainstream media, they'll think that we're racist against Mexicans because we don't want illegal aliens to come over. That is such a small way to think. It is the entire world trying to come in here illegally. I have no problem with legal aliens, with guests, with people like this. The migrants that came under here, the migrants that came here with a temporary visa, I have no issue with them because they came in through a legal process. However, it's temporary. So now it's time to go. Bye-bye. Okay, I have no problem. And if we're able to get 1 million people that spend 5 million, and I'm sure they got to get vetted and everything too. If they're willing to do that, I say, yo, come on. I think that'd be a good person to have into the country if you got that kind of money. If you have 5 M's and you're willing to spend that and give it to us, rather than giving the coyote 10 bands to come in here illegally, I think I want you over the illegal alien paying the county the 10 bands. Does it make sense? And what if Trump can sell these citizenships for $5 million and sell 1 million of them? Now, y'all do the math. I'm the mathematician. Okay, I don't know. What's 1 + 1? 15. I have no idea. But if you sell 1 million memberships for $5 million, isn't that 5 trillion? Is my math wrong or is it right? Y'all let me know. If you sell 1 million $5 million citizenship passes, isn't that 5 trillion? How much is it? Y'all give me the math on that. But if it's 5 trillion, that is a ton. That right there could actually impact our debt. Like, it could seriously fix problems in this country with our debt, with everything. You combine that with cutting down our expenditures, we can dig ourselves out of this debt hole. That money that we can raise from the gold cards, that could be enough to make up for all the COVID-19 printed money. Yeah, so 5 trillion, exactly. 5 trillion. So if I said it wrong, Christian, if I said it wrong, the cards cost 5 million and he wants to sell 1 million of them. So that'd be $5 trillion. That's a lot of money. Let's hear from Howard Lutnick on the situation.
Speaking of potentially great ideas, can you tell us about the Trump card?
Sure. So,
whose idea was that? And how did that come about?
John Paulson had a call with Donald Trump and was talking to Donald Trump and was kicking around the idea of we should sell, right? Why do we give away visas? We should sell them. And they're talking about it. Donald Trump calls me, gets me on the phone, right? We all talk about it, right? And then we go from there. And then my job is to figure out, like I always figure out, how to do it. What's the path?
Do you have
Let's
a
go
path?
figure it out. Of course. About 2 weeks from today, it goes out. Okay? Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then out it goes. And by the way, yesterday I sold 1,000.
Oh, you did? I got a poly market I created on how many are you guys going to sell this year. So
Cool.
I'm, curious to see how many.
That's fantastic. Do you want to tell people just the rough?
Yeah, what are the
broad
terms
strokes?
on it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're a U.S. citizen, you pay global tax.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to bring in outsiders going to come in to pay global tax. So if you have a green card, which used to be a green card, now gold card, you're a permanent resident of America. You can be a citizen, but you don't have to be. And none of them are going to choose to be. What they're going to do is they're going to have the right to be in America. They pay $5 million and they have the right to be in America. They have the right to be in America. As long as they're good people.
And they're vetted.
And they can't break the law. We can always take it away if they're like evil or mean or bad or something. Not mean, but if they do something horrible, you can take it away. Right? But the idea is, if I was not American and I lived in any other country, I would buy 6. One for me, one for my wife and my 4 kids, because God forbid something happens. I want to be able to go to America and I want to have the right to go to the airport.
So there's more to this, but you get the idea. $5 million for a gold card to be a citizen in this country, or to have a green card, something like that, that could be revoked. Whatever it is, you will have 100% permanent lawful status in this country. $5 million. And if we sell 1 million of them, that'd be 5 trillion. If we sell 1 million of them, that'd be $5 trillion. Now, what if we sell 2 million? And so on and so forth. So yeah, shout out to Howard Lutnick. Shout out to Trump. This is a great idea that should have been done quite a long time ago. It's a great idea. I love it. You're going to get the best of the best with that kind of money. And even if you don't, you got the money and you can always lock them up still. Okay, you want to come over here $5 million and you want to commit a crime? Well, I take my chances with you over the illegal alien from Venezuela coming over here, part of a criminal gang, taking over apartment complexes, thugging the drug and the carrying on. I'll take my chances with you over them. And if you act up, we keeping the money and locking you up, make you be a slave in there. Or you might get deported, who knows? But what do y'all think about that? Is it a good idea, bad idea? What's the science? Y'all give me the opinion of the people. All right. Yeah, no refunds, Jane. No refunds at all. Hey, no refunds. Hey, once you send your money, you wire it or whatever, we got that. We'll fulfill our end, you fulfill your end, and then that's it. You want to act up? We keeping the money, but you going somewhere else. Alrighty, now let's take a look here. We have Rosie O'Donnell in Ireland. She's for real in Ireland, talking about Trump still, of course. But what's funny is the left are engaging in election denialism. The same thing they said that we do. They say, oh, they don't want to accept the results of the election. They don't want to accept the election. Okay, well, what are you guys doing? And you did this in 2016 as well with Hillary Clinton. Remember that? I'm the real president. He's the illegitimate president. And he knows it. Remember that? But somehow Hillary Clinton doesn't get criticized for that. Neither will Rosie O'Donnell. Neither will any of them who are election deniers. Let's check out Rosie right quick, shall we?
A lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that. So it's curious to me, and as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened in our country.
Okay, Rosie, what was that? Really? Trump could not fill up stadiums and Kamala was? Maybe you saw Kamala in Atlanta when she had Meg Thee Stallion. The funny part about that is when Kamala came out after Meg Thee Stallion, people were leaving as she was talking, and she had a short speech. It wasn't a long speech. She had a very short speech. It was like 15, 20 minutes, very short speech. People were leaving while she was talking. Why? Because they already came to see Meg Thee Stallion and she performed. So, okay, I don't want to see Kamala Harris talk. I'm going to go right back to my dorm because it was right there. If you guys don't know, the Kamala, the first speech she gave, the first presidential appearance, it was on the campus of, what was that? GSU, right there in Atlanta. It was on the campus at the Convocation Center. So what happened? The students walked from their dorms, from college, to the actual Convocation Center to see Meg Thee Stallion, the rapper. After the rapper performs, booty shaking and everything else, Kamala leaves. Well, Kamala comes out and she gives her speech. Nobody really came to see her speech. Maybe some did. Some of the white liberals out there in Atlanta they came out there to see Kamala. But the majority of the crowd that you saw were there to see Meg Thee Stallion, not Kamala Harris. Furthermore, if you watched Trump rallies, they were always packed. Window to wall, packed. The inauguration, packed beyond belief. It was so packed at the inauguration, people, that there was a sea of purses and bags and whatnot left outside because they were informed they couldn't go inside with a bag or anything. People just left their stuff outside, right on the ground. Keys, wallets, all of that, right there on the ground. Trump always has packed events. Always. So, Rosie, I know the TDS is serious right now. You done fled the whole country because of it, but come on, let's not start lying on camera now. Let's not do that, alrighty? But yeah, shout out to Rosie O'Donnell out there in Ireland. Hey, and to the Irish, we're so sorry for Rosie O'Donnell. We apologize, but it's not our fault. It's not our fault. We say, hey, go to a more diverse place, why don't you? Why do they always go to Europe? They want to go to Canada. There's other English-speaking nations. They speak English in Nigeria. Why don't you want to go there? They speak English in Ghana. That's a former British colony. Why you don't want to go there? You want to go to Ireland, you want to go to the whitest of the white places while at the same time talking about how racist Trump is and you got to have DEI and diversity and everything else. You say one thing publicly, but live a different way privately, as they all do, which is pretty simple. But we have more election denialism for people on the street. Okay, we got more. Let's see what's going on here.
Most people in this country voted for Trump.
It's a lie. The slim majority of voters, shamefully, there were very few voters who showed up, but stop that bullshit. It is not a majority of Americans.
It's bullshit. He actually won the popular vote.
I am telling you, it was a slim majority of voters. Are you hearing me? Because I can sign it if you want. That is why you're not supposed to spread the bullshit that most Americans are looking for this. Because
people care, then they vote.
Because too few people voted. That's a disgrace.
If people care about issues, then they vote.
Yeah, well, if you want
to... So the ones who cared voted for Trump to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in government.
Because lots of voters were purged from voter rolls before the election.
All right, we got male feminists. Male feminists saving the day. I thought it was just young ladies. We got the lady with the Karen wig, and then we got the guy, mansplaining out of nowhere with a mask on until 2025.
This sounds familiar to me. It sounds like election denial. Is that what you guys are doing?
Just stop.
Because I thought we weren't supposed to do that.
Just stop.
Yeah, that's not, you just told me that. You just said this, right?
The damage that is being done by the narcissist in that building, the people who believe his bullshit. I know gaslighting when I see it and when I hear it, so just stop.
Okay.
Stop.
We don't have to talk to me. I'm actually on my way over here. So.
All righty. Sorry for the cussing, but y'all know how they do. But listen, they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to understand that this country did not want Kamala. We don't want the left. And it didn't matter if it was Kamala, Joe Biden, Gavin, whoever. We don't want what they're trying to sell us. We're not believing it. And the election was pretty decisive. It wasn't a slim margin of victory. You're talking about 5 million votes in the popular vote. The first time a Republican has won the popular vote in 20 years? It was a wide margin in the popular vote. Also, like Rosie said, you have all the swing states going for Trump. There were 89% of counties in this country. 89% of counties in this country shifted right. Some may not have gone right as far as the, Trump winning, but they shifted right. Like I said before, a county may have been 70-30 in 2020 for Biden over Trump. But this year, 2024, 55-45 Kamala Trump. That's not a Trump victory, but it shows the sentiment of the people. We don't like what the Democratic Party is doing. We're going to go that way. That's why all the swing states voted for Trump. But of course, people don't want to hear the truth. They want to believe whatever they want to believe. That's kind of how that goes. All right. We got more here. Shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, we got a teacher talking about pronouns and whatnot. And you know what I want is for each state to allow teachers to refer to students by their biological gender. Whatever the kid is identifying as, that's a separate story. You probably can't make the teachers tell the kids to not identify as something. That's up to the parents. I wish you could tell kids, hey, Johnny, you're not a girl, but I don't know how that goes. Regardless of what, if Johnny is Johnny, then Johnny is Johnny. You understand? I'm going to call him him. As simple as that. I'm going to call him a boy because he is a male, he is a boy. But it gets kind of confusing when you don't have this standard and you just let the kids do whatever they want to do and tell you what to call them. All right, let's watch this here from, I guess, a confused teacher. Confused in more ways than one.
Guys, I messed up. So I had a kid on Monday. They said their pronouns were she, her. Then on Wednesday, yesterday, they came to me and they said, you know what? My pronouns are they, them. I want you in the class to use they, them. Okay, cool, great. They come to class today. There's names on desks in groups for assigned seats. They can't find theirs because I guess my first class knocked it off. So I go to the class. Hey, is she in anyone's group? Does anyone see her name? It took me 5 minutes to realize what I did. So someone asked a question yesterday, what do you do when you mess up? Well, we all mess up. So what I did when they were sitting by themselves, I approached them and said, I screwed up, didn't I? And they said, yep. And I said, I am so sorry. That is completely 100% my fault. I apologize. I will not get it wrong moving forward. Please know I heard you when you told me your pronouns, and I will get it right. That was totally my bad.
Okay, now that's enough of that. So, teacher, first of all, what are your pronouns? I'm kind of confused. I'm seeing a woman here, but what do you want to go by? Naturally, when you see a woman, you're going to say she, her, ma'am, girl. That's what you're going to say because it's a woman. That's what you're going to do. That's what you should do. Okay, and the thing about it is kids go through phases. We got to allow kids to have phases because, a lot of girls, women in the chat, y'all might have had a tomboy phase. You might have dressed like, I don't know, Fred Durst from the early 2000s. That might have been you. But as you grow and you experience life and you just learn more about yourself, you grow out of that phase and you start wearing dresses and everything else. Okay, that's just normal human behavior. We are allowing children to stay as children, and we're legitimizing their phases as their permanent personality. This is why so many adults grow up and they can't grow up. That's why they say, oh, your brain's not right until you're 25 years old, is because there's so many grown toddlers running around this world. Okay, that's what's going on. That's why they want to say, oh, you're not really grown until you get to be 25. 25? You know how old that is? My parents were married and had me before they both turned 25. They were married and had me before they both turned 25. You got 25-year-olds right now that don't know whether they want to have a panic attack over eating cereal or a Pop-Tart for breakfast. We got to let kids experience childhood, find out who they are, and then become adults rather than keeping them stunted as children forever. Do I make sense? I know I am, but do I make sense? Y'all let me know. So yeah, shout out to all the they, thems, and everybody else. Look, at the end of the day, you're like 10 years old. You don't know what's going on with yourself, man. You're still a child trying to figure things out. Let kids be kids. Let them have their phases and let them become adults as they always have throughout the history of man. All right. Was she on Seinfeld? I have no idea. That's funny. Okay. That is hilarious. But yeah, shout out to her. Now we got a street interview that's pretty interesting. I did not necessarily expect this to go this way, but we got to watch it. You're going to think one thing when you see the young lady, but she's going to say something different. And you judge people based on this. You judge them based on what they say, how they behave. That's how you judge them. Check it out.
He's a 10 out of 10, but he voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah. I've dated men that... No, I've never dated a 10, so I can't really answer that.
But what if he was a 10, you find out he votes for Donald Trump? Do you still think he's a 10?
No.
What?
I respect our president. Like, he's our president. That's the president we have now. But, like, I don't know. I try to stay away from politics because it's, like, created even more discourse in my life. With men, relationships, friendships. Like, I used to be a very sweaty, angry person. And now I kind of just, like, it's in God's hands.
Are you a liberal?
I don't identify with any political party.
Okay. I thought you were liberal because
Because
your
the
hair.
blue hair, because the blue hair, yeah. No, everyone thinks that. No. I think that actually political parties are really stupid because then it's just one group saying it's your fault and the other group saying it's your fault. And like Lincoln said, a house divided among itself will fall. So that's why we have so many issues right now, so much discourse in this country, because we're not looking at it as like it's an us problem. It's a you problem. It's a you problem. It's a you problem. And I think political parties are stupid.
There we go. So pretty. That's a fair answer. If it's me, I would say that political parties do matter to a certain extent, or if anything, it's about ideology. Like I said before, it's not necessarily about left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. It's about regular versus irregular people, good versus evil, regular versus irregular. That's what's going on. So she is in the right ballpark, in my humble opinion. Young lady figuring things out, and when she gets to be older and she has a family, gets married, it'll really make sense. But right now, she's just realizing that, hey, I don't have to be divided. I don't have to hate you because you're over there and I'm over here. Again, it's about regular versus irregular, right versus wrong, good versus evil, more than the political parties. Although at this point, the political parties represent kind of the regular and irregular. There are more regular Republicans than there are Democrats. The regular to irregular ratio skews in favor of the right, in my humble opinion. But yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. All right. Let's keep on moving here. Now, this right here, I don't know when this particular video came out, but I love it. I love this dude. I love this joke right here because it's right on point. I feel the exact same way that he does. All right, let's watch.
Just found out I'm being oppressed. I saw it on CNN. A white lady said it. Nobody knows black struggle like white women. And I thought I was having a good life until I got basic cable.
It's always the white lady or the white man talking about, hey, black man, you're oppressed. You can't do this. You can't do that. I'm in my house chilling, feet up on the couch. I'm like, for real? Oh, I had no idea I was so oppressed. Thank you, Miss White Lady, for informing me that I'm oppressed. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Do I go down to the DMV? Do I get oppressed paperwork? Can I put it on my license? Okay, what's your race? Oppressed. Nah, I'm not black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy stripe, oppressed. There we go right there. So shout out to him. That is right on point. The white lady on CNN loves telling you just how much you're oppressed. And you know what? When I was becoming conservative back, many years ago, I would see that. I'm like, what are they talking about? Oppressed? Like how? Like it didn't make any sense. It was just a way to victimize people and make them think that they are, you know what it really does? It handicaps you. If you think that you're oppressed, if you think that it's the white man's fault, it's this man's fault, it makes you not really want to do anything. If you believe in it, it kind of just keeps you on a certain level. Maybe that's what they want, that permanent underclass do all these undesirable jobs like back in the day before a certain thing got abolished in 1865 or whatever that was, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And you know what? Someone to say reparations. I mean, my whole life, I've been hearing about that. Seriously, since I've been a little boy, I've been hearing reparations and we're going to get our check. I remember a Million Man March in Washington, D.C. I remember all of that stuff. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Farrakhan early, Million Man March. Because I was right there in D.C., Million Man March. So I know guys who went to the Million Man March. So it's been the same conversation for years. I'm like this. Life is short. Okay, I'm 40 years old. My dad died at 61. So I feel like, you know what? My job now is to make an impact on people, to live my life righteously, and to live my life fully, rather than being worried about the white man, worried about this, worried about that. I can sit here on my breath and I can sit here, hold my breath and wait for a check to come in the mail, or I could do something right now to improve my life in the best country in the world. So I choose the latter. And, you know, I see people from back in the day, many years ago, and they've not moved an inch in their lives. Still crying about the white man, still crying about reparations, still crying about 40 acres and the mule, crying about these things. I'm like, okay, what are you going to do about your life? What are you going to do about yourself? You still in the same situation from 10 to 15 years ago. You've not moved an inch. You're a loser, and you're blaming the white man for being a loser. And blaming the white man allows you to stay as a loser. I don't condone that. I don't agree with that. I think it's soft behavior. It's cowardly behavior, especially as a man. You got to get up off of your hind parts to do something with yourself. You're in America. Listen, the whole world wants to come here, whether it be black, white, everybody in the world wants to come here. And you are born here, raised here, know the language, you got connections, you have access to all these things in this country, and you don't do a thing with it. It disgusts me. Anybody that talks like that, I don't even want to be around you. I don't want to talk to you on the phone or nothing like that. If somebody calls my show talking like that, I'm instantly irritated. Immediately, I'm irritated. I'm like, oh, here we go. One of these losers calling my phone. Okay, a loser calling my phone. Okay, now, when I say loser, I don't mean that if someone is not rich, they're a loser. That's not even what I'm talking about. You could be poor you could be dirt poor and not be a loser. A loser is someone who chooses to not try because they think that they are oppressed, or it's not going to work, or the white man this and white man that. You're choosing to be a loser. Therefore, I can do nothing with it. Someone who sits on their hind parts and doesn't do anything is the equivalent of a crack smoker to me. The lowest people in humanity, people that don't care, that don't give an effort, lazy bums. It's the same kind of person that'll smoke crack or shoot heroin or something like this and make no attempt to get off it. But anyway, that was on my heart. I had to get it off. That was on my heart. Right. Look, that's on my heart. I got two hearts. One, I had to get it off. I really did. But anyway. So not Little Mermaid, pardon me, Snow White. Have you guys seen the new Snow White movie? Have you guys seen it? If you got kids, or you might want to see it yourself, have you guys seen a new Snow White movie? I don't watch movies anymore, really. Not anything that comes from Hollywood, not too much. Occasionally. The last movie I saw was Black Panther 2. Have I seen anything else beyond that? I might have seen something else. I saw Little Mermaid on the plane because I was curious. And since I'm sitting here on the plane, I was like, okay, can I watch this? But going to the theater, watching the movie, it's been years. I don't like Hollywood. I don't like what they produce. They produce trash, filth, garbage. But Little Mermaid came out, Snow White, that came out. And the reaction to Snow White has not been very good. Now, maybe, just maybe, it's because of the star of Snow White. Maybe some things that she said, maybe the whole woke nature of the film contributed to it. This is an older video from the promotion for Snow White. Let's see what she was talking about right here that could have led to the movie not doing very well this weekend in the box office. Check it out.
1937 is not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Okay, so love stories, weird, gross, ick, boys, ick. That's your star right there. Why would you say that? It's like you're trying to put out a movie that takes millions and millions of dollars to make. I think, $240 million they spent on this movie? Something that costs that much to produce, there's a lot riding on the line. There's a lot riding on the line. Okay. So that was her back during the promo days. And here we are right here. Look at this. Okay, let's block that. It says, ho hum, Snow White opening to $45 million on par with Dumbo. Okay, so they're saying it's flopping. Again, the movie costs $240 million to produce. That's just, if you make $240 million, that's just breaking even on the production. Okay, and marketing, I suppose, $45 million on the first weekend. That's not very good for a movie with that kind of budget behind it. And the IP, Snow White, one of the most famous fairy tales in the world, and you crack 45 million, you got Gal Gadot in there. Why do they make Gal Gadot the witch? I don't understand that. One of the most beautiful women in the world, you make her be the Wicked Witch of the West or whatever she is. Why would you do that? I thought the witch supposed to be kind of ugly and hunched over, things of this nature. Okay, a Gargamel type character. That's who the witch should be, not a fashion model. Like, I don't really understand. But again, $240 million budget, $45 million opening weekend. That's kind of a flop. Have you guys seen it though? Have you guys seen it? Was it good? Was it bad? Y'all let me know. Okay, y'all let me know. TC Burton says Rachel is half Polish, half Colombian. So like what? Like 75% white, something like this, 80% white. All right. Wicked Witch of the West. I don't know. Listen, y'all know I don't know nothing about popular. I don't watch TV, movies. I don't watch nothing. So a lot of my references are from like 30 years ago. I don't know nothing about nothing. But all I do know is that movie cost $240 million and they made $45 million on the opening weekend. That's a flop. That's an L. Now let's go back to normies. Back to the normies talking about the MAGAs. I guess we're a cult. We'll get to the whole cult question later with Charlie Kirk. Shout out to Charlie Kirk, Triple OG Charlie. But this guy right here is talking about the MAGAs as well. And what does his shirt say? Fight for democracy, I suppose. Interesting. Let's hear from him, shall we?
MAGA, Peter Thiel, Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk. Fear us. We are the masses. You are the 1%. We are the 99%. Think about it.
All right, so look, MAGA, you're on notice. MAGA, listen, you're on notice. All right. Me and my missing 2 front teeth have warned you. So take heed. If you want to keep things going, right, take heed to us. All righty. Bro, you know what? Sometimes when I hear people give advice or they talk on the internet, I dismiss them automatically. Sometimes. If you don't have your 2 front teeth in your mouth and you're like 55 years old, it's fine, man. Whatever you got to say, keep it to yourself. If you are 500 pounds and you got something to say, I'd be like, bro, before you want to try to wax poetic at me about something, how about losing 1 pound out of the 500? Look, lose 1 pound out of the 500, then come back and talk at me. But don't be pointing them fat fingers in my face talking about do this and do that. Nah, I'm not really trying to hear that. I promise I'm not. But anyway, yeah, shout out to my man right here. Hey, man, I don't know what you got to do. Get some dentures or something, man. Patch that up. Okay. Now, I apologize to Ireland earlier for Rosie O'Donnell. We're so sorry for Rosie O'Donnell, Ireland. You guys are great people out there. You got great music. I love the bagpipes. Shout out to the Irish. We apologize for Rosie O'Donnell. This character right here is going to Japan. I'm so sorry for the nukes. I'm so sorry for this individual, but here he is.
I just got my very first passport. Can you guess what this means? I'm going to Japan! I'm officially going to Japan in 2025. My goal is to go to Japan at the end of April 2025. I'm going to be going with my best friend, and we're going to be there for a total of 2 weeks. I'll be making a bigger video announcement once we buy our plane tickets.
Hey, do not let this character stay beyond his visa. As soon as 2 weeks hit, the Japanese ICE needs to be like, Nakuru. Come on outside. Come on. Go to the airport. It's instantly, right away. Matter of fact, really, at a certain point, can we get a screening process for visitors? Let's screen you before you come to the country. Okay, you want to get a visa to come be here for 2 weeks? Let's do a little bit of research on your boss. Let's see what's really going on. Okay, you have on this neon outfit and you're talking crazy. You stay right where you are. Okay, go back to Austin, Texas. Go back to San Francisco. Go back to Los Angeles. Do not come to Japan. Okay? How's he going to afford the 2 weeks? You know what he's doing to afford the 2 weeks. This dude has on children, like he's dressed like he's 5 years old. He's wearing the outfit of a toddler. You already know what he's doing. You know what he's doing to afford to go to Japan. I don't got to say it, but put 2 and 2 together, okay? You got baby dolls on your necklace. I mean, come on, bro. I already know what's happening here. I know what's going on. But yeah, Japan, we apologize for that guy. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
All right, so we got another one of these individuals.
All right. LGBT without the T. Hi, my name is Julian. My pronouns are he, they. And I'm here today because I am trans and I deserve to live. And I want to help protect all the trans kids that come after me.
Well, thank you. I bet he does want to protect trans kids. Whenever anybody looks like this, it's talking about trans kids. See, that kind of guy right there, he has the look of someone who has some crazy things on his laptop. He has that look already. You kind of chubby with the glasses. When he get to be like 35 years old, he'll have the complete chomo look. So really, just go ahead and send him to the prison. Just go ahead and send him right now, man. Send him to prison right now, because I already know what's going on. All right. I think I got enough of that, but let's keep on moving here. We have who is this? This is a comedian. Sarah Silverman. Okay, Sarah Silverman talking about how to deal with Trump and how to go forward with your inner peace. How to achieve your inner peace. All righty, let's watch Miss Silverman. Okay, let's play. How about that?
Trump. You do not have to consume his content. Now that sounds incredibly privileged. I believe you do not have to at all consume his content and let that chip away at your physical and mental health. Instead, fucking touch grass when you can and focus inward. Focus on each other. Focus inward. I'm not saying totally disengage. I'm saying re-engage. I'm saying go within. This is not something I made up. I think it was some very wise Buddhist maybe or something. Go within. All the answers are there. Taking care of ourselves, taking care of each other. It doesn't have to include him. You don't have to keep up with every disgusting thing he says. Their whole purpose is owning the libs. There's no ideology. It's an act of hatred and a need for superiority.
This right here is like a solo therapy session. This is what her therapist probably done told her. Okay, you're suffering from TDS. How do I get beyond it? Every day I get up in the morning and I'm upset. I'm mad about Donald Trump. And you're going to therapists, like TDS is a real thing. It was here in 2016, 2020. Like it started in 2015, 2016. That's when it started. And I've always been saying this. TDS is contagious and you catch it from TV. And I know that TDS is real and it's caught from television because now Elon Musk has his own version of TDS attached to him. Elon derangement syndrome, or as I call it, Musk-Elon derangement syndrome, meds. Before Elon became next to Trump, he became close with Trump. Before that, the left loved him. He was a hero because he gave them Tesla. You got tree huggers coming out talking about, I love this man. And people would shame you if you didn't get a Tesla. You were shamed for not having an EV, for not having the Tesla, because you hate the environment. You hate people. You hate poor people because it's racist to have carbon emission. That was the narrative. But now if you have a Tesla, all of a sudden, you're a bad person because Elon is a bad person now. But they were just praising him last year before he came out and was next to Trump. Musk-Elon derangement syndrome is tied to Trump derangement syndrome. They could put anybody next to Trump and make the public hate him from what the mainstream media says. It could be a saint. It could be a literal saint. Somebody that has saved 1,000 children from a burning fire. Somebody that then gave their grandmama a kidney. Oh, like they could do the best things. They could be the best person in the world. But the media is so powerful and people are so gullible that the media can make them believe whatever they want. This is why I tell y'all, don't believe me and don't believe them for sure. Do your own research. Empower yourself rather than allowing them to dictate a narrative to you. Because that's what's happening. Go out there and ask people who are at these protests and whatnot what they're mad about. They're going to repeat verbatim what they hear on television. And they won't have any original thought in their mind because they've been programmed. The thoughts that are in their mind came from outside sources. It's crazy. So yeah, that is the comedian Sarah Silverman. So shout out to her. Here we have Adam Kinzinger. What's he, a House Rep? Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Adam Kinzinger. He is he was a House Rep. He's not been in office since 2023. Okay, I see. So now, rather than being in office, he's just a talking head on television. All right, let's watch what he says here.
So here's an interesting question. Why is it that whenever Republicans decide to boycott a company like Bud Light or Disney, they're doing it because they're victims of that company? Yet when America decides to boycott a company like Tesla, because the CEO is running around telling Americans what they can and can't live without so that he can have a tax break, then all of a sudden they're victims again. So they're victims when they're being boycotted, and they're victims when they're boycotting. It's because Donald Trump has made his fortune and his political career on being a victim. And Republicans have learned the same thing. Always be a victim. I don't know. That's not a very masculine trait to me. Always being a victim.
Okay, Adam Kinzinger, are you the pillar of masculinity? I don't know about that. You have the vibe of a frat bro who's like 40 years old. Number one. Number two, you're talking about victims. The Democratic Party has nothing but victimhood. I played that joke earlier of the black guy talking about, I was watching CNN and the white lady told me I was a victim. I had no idea I was oppressed or a victim. You guys on the left specialize in victimizing people in more than one way, making them think that they're a victim, making them think that they're oppressed, and also physically hurting people. We talk about political violence. I mean, who are people that get hit? It's us that get hit with political violence. Y'all shot Trump. Y'all shot Steve Scalise. And the list goes on. Y'all beat people up. You firebomb, Black Lives Matter. Y'all done killed kids and everything else. So what are you talking about? And as far as the boycotts are concerned, with Bud Light, all we did was just stop drinking it. That's all we did was stop drinking it. And we made videos talking about Dylan Mulvaney, joking, things like this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, and if I'm wrong, y'all please correct me, but nobody crashed out over Bud Light. Nobody went and burned up a Bud Light facility. Nobody went and carjacked a Bud Light truck. Nobody did that. All we did was just not buy it. Y'all could just not buy Tesla the same way we just not we didn't buy the Bud Light. But rather than just not buying Tesla, you guys on the firebomb, shoot cars up. I done seen y'all do the most disgusting things. This dude reached and his hind parts and then took whatever he had and just went like that on the truck. Y'all do stuff like that. I've never seen a conservative do that kind of thing. So I get the comparison you're trying to make, but the comparison is not very valid, Adam Kinzinger. So yeah, try again, sir. Adam Kinzinger. Look at this guy, man. Just a complete doofus. But hey, that right there is the left. Oh, and here was a great moment. This is my man, I'm about to call him Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan confronting the CNN doctor here. What's his name? Let me know his name in the chat. But Joe Rogan confronted the CNN doctor about CNN saying that Joe Rogan was taking horse paste and horse dewormer, a complete lie. Because as we know, Joe Rogan took ivermectin. Ivermectin is a medication that humans get. Animals get it too, but animals also get antibiotics. Does that mean that antibiotics are chicken dewormer because chicken get it? Does it mean that antibiotics are chicken medication because chickens get it? No, it's medication that humans can take and animals can take. Imagine that. Watch this.
So for you, Joe Rogan.
Yes.
I would say you've...
Is his name Sanjay Gupta? Okay, this is Dr. Sanjay Gupta. And he does a lot of CNN appearances. He's a medical guy over there. And Rogan is confronting him about CNN saying that he took horse dewormer. Check it out.
So for you, Joe Rogan.
Yes.
I would say you've had it.
Yes.
So now get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated. Right?
Yes.
Don't I?
I think your immunity is really good.
So why, if I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative, and I do have the natural antibodies now, why would I take a chance in getting vaccinated on top of that?
By the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. And we should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie.
It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah,
they're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well,
they lied about that, and I kind of want to go ahead a little bit here. This might be an older video, but I want to go ahead and show you what they did, because remember, they put a filter on his face, make him look sick. They were crazy. Like, this was completely willful. Okay. And for him to have to see the video and be confronted was great, because to see him squirm was awesome. This might be an older video, but it's still very relevant.
No, I don't think there's
yes,
a
they did.
No one takes.
Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings. Yeah.
Jamie had to pull.
So they're showing a preview of the video they're going to play. And the lower third says, Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warning. That was on CNN live.
You want to play it?
Does she?
This is your news network.
I'm gonna watch.
Let's see.
I'm gonna watch.
Rogan telling his 13 million Instagram followers that he was treated with several drugs, and he included ivermectin on the list, a drug used for livestock. The FDA and the CDC warn against using to treat COVID.
Turns out I got COVID. Look, they put a yellow filter on me too.
The kitchen sink at all kinds of meds. Monoclonal,
you see the original video versus that? I look like shit.
So look, okay, there's more, but this is an older video. I just wanted to play it today. You see what they did? They not only lied about him taking horse dewormer, they also lied about the video. They put a filter on him, make him look sicker. He looks like he's dead right there. So the message that they were trying to send back then was he took horse paste and now he's sick, about to die. So it'll scare anybody from taking ivermectin. And if you were scared, maybe you might go to the vaccination instead. I don't want to take that. He looks like he's dead. That's horse paste. I'll get the shot. And then, boom, you fall on the ground while you are jogging in the morning. You got a heart problem. You're 18 years old, healthy, and now you got myocarditis, pericarditis, and etc. I told y'all before that my doctor, my primary care physician, was in the Navy for 20 years. He was a doctor in the Navy. And he said he had to leave the Navy because he got tired of seeing young men, 18 years old, healthy, going to the Navy, go to the hospital after they get the vaccination because they got heart problems. He said, I didn't want to be a part of that. I'm done with it. I leave. Okay, so yeah, shout out to all you guys who stood your ground if you were able to about that vaccination. All right, now, speaking about standing your ground, we got our man Charlie Kirk at what's that, UT? In Knoxville. Shout out to the volunteers. And we have this individual right here who does not want anyone to listen. All right.
Do not listen, fascists!
I said what I said, bro.
Do not listen, fascists!
Now, that's a crazy freeze frame right there. But look, you're calling people fascists because of what they're talking about, because they have different points of view. But isn't what you're doing kind of fascism? So I can't listen to them because why? So you're going to tell me who I can listen to, who I can't listen to, how to behave and everything else? You're the fascist. This is called projection. But I'm glad that he wasn't really among friends. They kind of ignored him. I'm glad that happened. And Charlie was still able to go have his event at UT in Knoxville. All right, so let's watch this right here.
Why can you not respect the existence of trans people?
If you mean lying, I won't lie. But every human being is made in the image of God, and so they deserve human rights.
It's lying to... I'm confused. What...
It is a lie to call somebody
By
a sex...
that they prefer.
To call them a pronoun that is not rooted in reality. Let me ask you, can anyone become a woman?
It doesn't have anything to do with me, so yes.
Okay, if a biological man came next to you in your dormitory or locker room, would you be okay with that?
If they came next to me,
and started
sure.
changing next to you?
Sure. What does that have to do with me?
A naked...
Ladies, what do y'all think about that? If a biological man, a male, entered the women's locker room, restroom, and they began to disrobe in front of you, is that okay? Not, but okay, he says he's a woman. He identifies as Kaylee. I'm gonna show you guys Kaylee in a minute if you didn't see it from my video earlier. He identifies as Kaylee, but he's clearly and obviously a man. Are you going to feel safe in that moment? Do you want him to be there in that moment? I don't think you guys want him to be there in that moment. I think you guys want him to be in the place with women if you're going to be in states of undress rather than men being there.
Naked man comes next to you in the locker room and just starts saying, hey, how you doing? You have no issue with that.
If it was someone that identified as a woman and they weren't hostile towards me, no, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, so there is a mental delusion out there where people think that they are 12 years old. Should we affirm that?
No.
Okay, so then if we don't affirm that mental delusion, why should we affirm the mental delusion where men who think they are women or women who think they are men?
Because there's a power like problem with age.
And there's no power problem between men becoming women or going into locker rooms or winning female trophies or winning female sports?
There can be, but it's all about people being comfortable and being respectful.
You see, this is where we have a difference. So you look at the world through trying to accommodate the comfort of the oppressed. We look at the world through right and wrong, moral and immoral, and just and unjust. We don't care about making people comfortable. We care about what is right. We care about the protection of women.
There we go. So there goes Charlie Kirk. Now, you guys want to
I had a neighbor
confront
me for you.
You guys want to see Kaylee?
I had a neighbor.
And I'm sorry because it's TikTok sucks. All right, let's go ahead and show you guys Kaylee right quick if I can. Is it going to work properly? Can I
confront me for using the women's restroom?
All right, we got to do it this way. All right, let me do it this way. This is Kaylee. All right. Let's hear from Kaylee, shall we?
I lived here for 4.5 years. I had a neighbor confront me for using the women's restroom. I lived here for 4.5 years. Everyone should know that I'm a trans woman. I've always been known as Kaylee. I've always used she, her pronoun. I've been having some stomach issues because of Trulicity, and I had to use the bathroom real quick, and they're single-use bathrooms, and it's the only place that I feel safe using the women's bathroom.
So not only do you have this fine gentleman named Kaylee in the women's bathroom, he got a doo-doo as well. He got a doo-doo, so you're going to blow it up. You're going to blow the bathroom up, looking like Hank Hill let himself go.
Well, I got done and got out, and this neighbor was talking to another neighbor and started pointing out the sign. I knew exactly what she was talking about because there's a big old woman sign. And I'm like, is there a problem? She's like, yeah, you're using the woman's restroom. You're a man. And I said, I'm a trans woman. She's like, no, you're a man. And she kept saying that over and over. And she kept saying, you're not a she, you're a he. You shouldn't be.
So look, people maybe think that the trans person is going to be looking like Blair White. Oh, Blair White is so... No. What you're going to have is Mr. Kaylee right here. That will be the man in the bathroom with you. So y'all still want that? Not you guys. But to the liberals who say, oh, no, ABL, it's no big deal. You're going to have that guy in there. He going to say, look, I'm a woman. What you going to do about it? Yeah, I got that beard, and yeah, I got my twig and berries, but so what? I'm a woman. That's just what it is. So yeah, shout out to Kaylee. I don't think y'all really want Kaylee to be dropping bombs in the bathroom. I'm talking about boom, boom, boom. You're like, is somebody getting beat up in there? What's happening? Nah, I just Kaylee dropping the deuce in the women's bathroom. Alrighty. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't think you guys want to have Kaylee anywhere around. Now let's go back. Let's go back to Charlie with a young lady right here talking about MAGA being a cult, shall we?
Do you agree/disagree that the Make America movement, Make America Great movement, again, MAGA movement, is a cult?
No. Why don't you explain to me and the audience what is a cult?
Of course. Okay. Do you know any characteristics of a cult?
Sure. I mean, you could take the Jonestown death cult, of which there was a charismatic leader that constantly lied people, and they took them out of everyday normal life and leads them towards ostracization and cutting off of family ties. Am I getting closer to describing the Democrat Party?
According to the... No. What
that was very well done. I appreciated that moment right there from Charlie.
What I'm talking about is MAGA. According to the Bethune-Cookman University website...
Bethune-Cookman. That was so funny when I heard that. Bethune-Cookman is the name of the university.
Characteristics of a cult include isolating members and criticizing them for leaving. Would you say that members of the MAGA movement will criticize others for leaving?
Well, yeah. I mean, but you guys criticize...
I mean, but seriously, people don't really... It's not really a big thing. There's no MAGA movement. I mean, I don't know what that is. Like, if you voted for Trump and then you didn't vote for Trump, you voted for Kamala, I'll ask why. I was like, why'd you do that? I might criticize your decision, but if you decide to vote for whoever you want to vote for, that's your decision. Like, that's your right as an American to vote for whoever you want. I can disagree with it, but that's where it stops. I'm not going to be firebombing Teslas like y'all be doing, but that's a different story, and I digress.
Players that transfer out of the University of Tennessee football team. That's not a cult. I would encourage you to dig deeper and be more of a free thinker.
And I will, and I am a free thinker. And I grew up in a conservative household, and once I left my parents and their beliefs, and I moved to college in a very conservative state, I actually become more progressive.
Okay, and so how is your relationship with your parents?
I mean, it's fine. We don't agree on most things, but...
Wait, so they didn't kick you out for having a different opinion? They're terrible cult members.
That was very well done, and she knows she's 100% right about that. Okay, you have conservative parents, and when you go home for spring break, you still are able to sleep till 2:00 p.m. You get up, you go get some chicken tendies, and you scroll TikTok, and you just be chilling. They're not worried. They're not kicking you out of the house. They want you to go get an education and make somebody of yourself. That's it. They want to have Their daughter grew up and be a nice young lady. That's all they want. Okay. But you're in college still. You're at UT in Knoxville. Shout out to the volunteers. You're there, but it's still college. And you're still going to have some woke professors. Despite being in Knoxville, Tennessee, despite being in a conservative state, you still have liberals that are here. And really, Nashville is right across, what's that, I-20, whatever that is. You could go straight across from Knoxville to Nashville. You'd be there in about, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not that far away. And that's a kind of a blue place because all the Californians that live there. So just because you're in college in Tennessee does not mean you can't get brainwashed with woke ideology. You most certainly can, especially if you have a major that puts you in that direction. If your major is underwater basket weaving at UT, maybe you might be a little bit more liberal than when you left your parents' house. Just maybe, perhaps. Oh, yeah. So shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to the volunteers. 100%. Now, speaking about young ladies, I think that there's some things that they should do and should not be doing. Now, police work. We got some good bulldaggers out here in the world that can apprehend suspects, but that's not all women, okay? Just like not all men are going to be able to be rough and tumble and do certain physical jobs. Not all women are going to be bulldaggers and be able to fight men or be able to do anything with them when they're confronted. So this is in London. The woman police officer is going to flee away from the suspect because she can't do nothing with him. I don't think these cops have anything to protect themselves. No guns, no nothing. No gun, no knife. Maybe they got a baton. Maybe. I'm not really sure.
My kids can stop there. I'm just saying, hurry up.
She's like, thank God a random man from the crowd came in to save the day. This is a police officer, completely useless. No more than a glorified security guard. You might as well just call and report and be like, hey, it's a guy out here and he's acting the fool. Bring the actual cops that can apprehend him. She cannot do anything. She was running, like retreating from this guy.
I'm sitting in fucking dead still. I'll show you my eye. I'll show you my eye. I'll show you my eye.
So now the men show up to apprehend the suspect. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you're going to have cops, they need to be capable of handling themselves. You can't, run away from a guy. He has no weapon or nothing on him. He just is bigger than her and will overpower her if he was to do something to her. Yeah, so bring the actual cops out there to make something happen. Shout out to all the girl cops that will still whoop hind parts, but that's not everybody, and y'all know it's not. Now, speaking about world news, let's go to Australia right quick, okay? Australia does not have freedom of speech, unfortunately. Shout out to all the Aussies out there. All right, shout out to everybody from the land down under. Shout out to everybody from the islands and what was that? Like Oceania. Shout out to the New Zealand people, the Australians, Papua New Guinea, everybody. Shout out to all them down there. Now, you guys, unfortunately, have no freedom of speech. And that caused a big problem to happen. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's hear from New South Wales Premier Chris Minns about the lack of freedom of speech and why that's a good thing in his mind. Check it out.
We live in the best country in the world, but people come to Australia from all different races and religions, different countries, different cultures, because they want to live together in peace and harmony. You have to take steps to protect that. It can't just be a willy-nilly race to the bottom where civic society turns a blind eye and says, well, look, freedom of speech reigns here, people can say what they want. That's not the case in New South Wales. We don't have the same freedom of speech laws that they have in the United States, and the reason is because we love the country that we've got here and we're going to take steps to protect what's been built up over decades.
So do you guys think, is that a good thing, bad thing? What do y'all think? He says, look, we can't have freedom of speech here because we got to protect what we built over decades. We got a lot of different people coming over here, a lot of different people. Is it a good thing to not have freedom of speech laws in your country? Y'all let me know. Okay. y'all will let me know. Let's go to the next video here. Now, this individual, his name is Nelly Yo, or I don't know how to say his last name, but he got raided by police after a tweet criticizing Joe Biden's appointing cronies at the U.S. Embassy. So because he criticized Joe Biden's appointees in the tweet, he got raided by the police in Australia. Check it out.
I'm doing great. So take me through this. We know about the tweets. Take me through the feds knocking on your door. What happens? How does this go down?
Look, I mean, initially I was not at home. I left for work. My family were at home. They knocked on the door around 9:30 a.m. The guns were drawn. The door was sort of pushed in forcefully, and my whole family was afraid, and it was something out of the movie.
Unbelievable. Now, why do you think they served this search warrant on you, Nelly?
Look, my guess is as good as yours. I am gobsmacked. That search warrant should never have been issued. I believe because last month I made a tweet criticizing Joe Biden appointed cronies who are currently running the Australian embassy in Australia. And
you also
let's pause for a minute. Here's the tweet in question. Let's read it. These 4 individuals currently run the U.S. consulate in Australia. They were handpicked by the Biden regime. All need to be fired immediately. They are anti-Trump. These scums were the same lunatics who were involved with the weaponization of government against President Trump across Australia and Asia. And he goes down the list. And that's it. It's no threat of violence. It says they got to get fired. That's not, I want to do something to them. They should be fired. That's the only thing he said. And that right there caused him to get raided.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you also sent me the tweet deleted by the Australian ambassador, really calling President Trump, basically besmirching President Trump's good name. I think looking at the history of Australia, especially back through COVID, I think they were trying to scare you, Nelly.
Yeah, look, the last 4 years, I've been monitored, and this is just because I am a supporter of President Trump. I endorse President Trump. I love his agenda. I know he's the best president in history. And a lot of people in Australia disagree with him. And look, I'm thankful that we have President Trump in office, because a lot of stuff that's going on in Australia, I'm pretty sure President Trump would ensure these stuff don't occur.
A tweet. So this right here is an issue. You don't have freedom of speech, and you're liable to get raided over a tweet with no threats of violence, no cursing. It's just an opinion. I think they should get fired. We could say that over here without getting raided. That's the beauty of this country. We have freedom. Australia, freedom is kind of limited. It's kind of limited. As long as you say what they like for you to say, then you're good. Get on their bad side, well, you might go make big rocks, little rocks. And we saw it in Germany, or what was that? I think it was Germany, where you had people that were getting raided over tweets and whatnot, social media posts, things of this nature. It's crazy. It's totally nuts. Now, Joy Reid is still around. She still has a presence on the interwebs. And it's just like really anti-America. So here she is with Don Lemon, and she says that we would lose in the fight against Canada. Now listen, shout out to the Canadians. I love y'all. You guys are great. You guys watch this channel and support me. You guys are fantastic. But let's be serious. Let's be serious. Listen, there's no way that the Canadians can beat the United States. I'm going to just say that. And I'm not trying to beat up on Canada. I'm not trying to punch down, as they say. It's not even about that. It's about just being real. The same way I would say that if we were to try to fight China right now, it'd be rough. it'd be rough if we tried to fight China on a ground war or something like that. It'd be rough. And if we bring the nukes out, then the whole world would die. But a ground war against China, we couldn't even beat Vietnam. How we going to beat China in the ground war? Make that make sense. But anyway, let's hear from Joy Reid.
Grampy Trump, let's talk. Let's talk.
Don Lemon's sweater says Lemon Nation. Matter of fact, can you see it? Hold on. Let me zoom in a little bit. His sweater says Lemon Nation. Okay, do y'all want that merch right there? Are you going to go out and buy a Lemon Nation t-shirt? Let me know in the comments.
First of all, you can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic.
Okay, now listen. First of all, there's no need to fight Canada. There's no need at all. But let's talk a little bit of numbers here, Joy Reid. We have 345 million Americans? We have 345 or so million Americans. They have about 40 million Canadians. The numbers don't add up. The numbers don't add up. The size of our military, we got too much. We have too much. We have too much. 2025 is not 1814 or whatever it's not then. This is now. There's no way the Canadians beat us. But again, there's no need to fight. Who says we're going to invade Canada for what? Why? We ain't going to do that. There's no need to do that. So you're pushing hateful kind of incendiary rhetoric, and you are not telling the truth. So yeah, the one that she got fired, exactly. Exactly. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys in the chat for setting Joy Reid straight. The podcast Dumb and Dumber, they should call it Dumb and Dumber. If it's not, that's pretty much what it is. Now, speaking about Tesla, things of this nature, we have one fine soul out there thanking Elon for what he does. Okay, thanks Elon, signing in front of a Tesla building, dealership. So yeah, shout out to her. Thank you, SpaceX on the other side of the sign. Thank you, Elon on the front. Okay, I like seeing stuff like that. A person who is positive and to see negativity. Everybody want to attack Tesla. Everybody want to firebomb Tesla. She's out there being very positive. So shout out to her. Yeah, exactly. They don't understand why they were fired, Zoot Suit. They don't get it. They don't understand. But the more they keep talking, the more the public sees why they were fired. Now, this is the Daily Show, I suppose. Who is that guy right there? Who is this dude with the top hair? What hairstyle is that? I never understood that whole hairstyle with the white guys where it's like up, like, but kind of it's like if you put your hair in a hat and it stands up. I don't understand that hairstyle, but shout out to you guys if you have it. I just never understood it because I'm black. My hair does not do that. My hair would never ever do that. But anyway, Daily Show. The crowd goes crazy when he mentions something negative about Tesla.
Jim, they're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple.
The crowd goes wild. The crowd applauds. The crowd cheers when they're showing images of burnt up Teslas, firebomb Teslas. So when you show terrorism and people are applauding, look, hey, Tom Homan, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, whoever, they right here. Come get them. They right here. Come get them. Lock them up. They're right here. that crowd might have been some of the firebombers applauding their own efforts. Come get them. They right here in the audience. I could see them right in front. Her right there with the blue hair, get her first. Who's the cult now exactly? Somebody asked a question. Tazante says, who's the cult now exactly? Perfect. And you know what? Somebody said fake applause. If it's fake applause, it's even worse. If it's fake applause, then that means that the media are doing more. They're going above and beyond to push the violence against Tesla. If it is real applause, that means that people have already bought into the idea of attacking Tesla. Yeah, cheering for crime. I had never seen that before in my life, but here we are. Okay. And I think that this picture right here, I won't get too deep into the Tesla videos because really, for real, I kind of got a message from YouTube indirectly that tells me that they don't want those videos on it. They don't really want that, because what's happening is when you show these videos, when you highlight it, it encourages people to do it more. Because you got a bunch of mouth breathers out here. I'm talking about mouth breathing morons, drooling morons. They don't know anything. What's 1 + 1? What's that mean? I don't know nothing about that. These mouth breathers, they're like little kids. Again, if they see something and they are easily influenced to do it, they'll do it. So look, that's them right here. You see this? I'm helping with the Cybertruck with the Nazi, with the swastika on it. An improper swastika, as they always do. You could tell somebody that is, they don't know anything by how they behave. But that right there is what they do all day long. So whenever you see someone do this, matter of fact, if you have a cousin or a family member or whoever who appreciates what's happening to Tesla, send them this. You have my permission to send them this. Okay, screenshot this video and send them that right there. All right, that's what they are for the most part. All right, but yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, now here is a reason why they're out here firebombing Tesla, because they don't want Elon. They don't want Elon to find things like this. So here are some more discoveries from Doge. And by the way, like I said before, Doge is my favorite government agency, my absolute favorite one ever, probably. Let's watch.
Hey, knock, knock. Nobody's home. Look at this. Got this big, beautiful area where employees are supposed to work. Nobody's here. So we're in the second headquarters at Freddie Mac. We were just in the other building. There was nobody there for miles and miles and miles. Look at these desks. They're clean. We've got a cafeteria, again, that's completely vacant. You've got food that's being prepared. The staff that makes the food is here 5 days a week, but the people who work in this building or should work in this building aren't here 5 days a week.
So if the people are not there, but the staff in the kitchen is there cooking and preparing these meals, where's the food going? Who's eating the food? Nobody. So they just show up to cook the food and nobody eats it? I don't understand.
2,900 people that were supposed to work in the building. Turns out only 49 were showing up full time on a 5 day.
No, slow it down. 2,900 people. How many showed up?
On average, the highest that we saw on a 5 day work week was 49 people. Spending on that one building, just to point this out, $57 million a year.
And your lease payments?
In lease payments.
Hold on, let's go back. How much is that per year in lease payments?
49 people. Spending on that one building, just to point this out, $57 million a year.
$57 million a year. $57 million a year on lease payments for 49 people, 49 employees at max to show up full time. And it's supposed to be 2,900. What's the point of the building even being there? Why? Why do we need all that? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. And people are wondering why we like Doge, because that kind of thing is happening all over the place. And the reason why it can happen is because it's your money, it's your taxpayer money. They see your taxpayer money, your hard-earned money you give them. They see that as infinite, like an infinite money glitch. Hey, I have an infinite money glitch. Let's rob the taxpayer at gunpoint and burn it. That's the infinite money glitch, your money. So I think that most of us would appreciate Doge for stopping that practice from happening. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? All right, there's more.
Yeah.
This is a Doge staffer, Doge employee talking about what he does. Let's watch. Very good clip here.
Yeah, I've been brought in to look at the IRS's modernization program in particular, as well as the operations and maintenance budget. I really care a lot about this country, and this is a huge program that's currently 30 years behind schedule, and it's already $15 billion over budget.
Wait a second. Explain to our viewers what the program is in layman's terms.
Yeah, so the goal is to take, the IRS has some pretty legacy infrastructure. It's actually very similar to what banks have been using. It's old mainframes running COBOL and assembly. And the challenge has been, how do we migrate that to a modern system? Virtually every bank has already done this, but we're still using a lot of those same systems. And typically in industry, this takes a few years, maybe a few $100 million. And we're now 35 years into this program. We've actually been, if you ask them now, it's 5 years away. And it's been 5 years away since 1990. It's supposed to be delivered in 1996, and it's still
1996. 1996. Listen, 1996. I was 12 years old. That's when Tupac got shot. Tupac. That was almost 30 years ago. And here we are. But you know why? It hadn't been delivered. You know why it's so far behind and so deep in the hole? Because, again, it's your money. There's no incentive to really put some fire behind it because they are going to get paid regardless. Why must I meet a deadline when I could just keep getting paid to show up and pretty much do nothing? See, this right here is a problem. They're talking about, oh, we got to protect our federal workers. What are they really doing, though? What are they doing? Okay, we have this beautiful facility that should have 2,900 workers. At most, only 49 show up. We are spending billions of dollars on modernizing this system that should have been done back in the 90s. It's now decades later and it hadn't been done yet. But yet when people that work there or work on that project get let go, or those who are in charge making the decisions, they get let go, all of a sudden, you hate federal workers, all this, that, and the third. Well, nah. I just want efficiency, and I want my taxpayer money to be spent properly, not to be wasted on these projects that never end.
5 years away.
In your area of expertise that informs your ability to do this review is what?
I'm a software developer by background, and I'm a CEO of a software technology company.
So when you came into the department, the first thing you do is just get into the guts of the system and see how it operates?
Yeah, really talk to the software developers, talk to the people on the ground and what they're seeing. I think one encouraging thing is we actually have quite a lot of software talent on the ground, the people writing code. We actually have quite a lot of good people. It is almost always the case that when I ask them what the correct answer is, how do we solve these problems, they're almost always right, which is good. They just haven't been in a position to be empowered to make those decisions. So I'm actually pretty optimistic that we can solve this. Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to him. Again, why would anybody be against this? Again, it's obvious. The government, they're completely inefficient. There's no incentive for them to actually do things properly or do things quickly or efficiently because they're going to get paid regardless. They don't really care. I showed y'all that really old mine that they got the retirement records in, and there's a whole industry around that. There's jobs you can retire from. You can work in that mine and get paid handsomely and get a retirement at the end of it, all because it's an old system that has not been updated. If you come in and say, you know what, let's update the system, they're not going to want you to update it because their job goes away. But listen, I'm not trying to gloat at somebody losing their job, but at the same time, Just because your job is going to get lost does not mean we don't modernize. There's all kind of ways that jobs are taken away in this country. You used to have a milkman that would come to your house, an iceman that would come to your house, a guy with ice, a block of ice, pick that off and get it to you. There was a man that would come to your house and do that. But then we got a refrigerator. No more need for these men to come to your house and do these things. We have the technology to replace them. That's just the way that humanity has always operated. You can't just say, oh, don't take my job away because you have this new thing. That's just life. It is what it is. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's show the judge from Uganda who had a slave in her household. Had that slave in her house. Had that slave in the house from Uganda.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody.
That face right there. Really? Me?
In slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned, something which later on in court.
Officer.
Anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat.
She does not have that.
Diplomat.
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before.
All right, so look, let's get some context if you guys ain't seen my video. So this woman here is from Uganda, but she's a UN, United Nations, UN judge. She's from Uganda, living in UK, studying to get a PhD, but she's currently a UN judge. Now, what happened was she was arrested and convicted of slavery. What she did was bring a young woman from Uganda to work in her house for free. Now, the woman was sold to her, or there was a transaction to get the woman to come to the United Kingdom. She promised somebody back in Uganda who had some legal problems that she would look at her case and, see what's going on. Okay, I'll look and see what you got going on. I'll talk to somebody about your case. So basically the deal was, I will help you out legally from my role as a UN judge if you send this girl to me. And then she was not allowed to go outside and work and do other things. She was bound to the home as a servant, as a worker, child care for free, cleaning up the house, cooking food, a slave. And again, it was a transaction. The girl was sold to her. And here's something else though. If you are a UN judge, you have enough money to hire a maid, a nurse, cleaning service, a cook, and things of this nature. You have that money. But what she did was purchase a young lady and had her work as a slave in the house. That's what happened. Maybe in her mind, it was cheaper. Okay, all I got to do is promise that guy, I'll look at his case for him because I'm a judge with the UN, and then I'll pay for her plane ticket, and that's all I got to do. All I got to do is feed her, and then that's it. Okay? That's the whole thing. Yeah, and like I said before in my video, you could be black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe with a slave. There's slavery all over this world. China, they big with slavery. They don't care. Like, that's still going on in their society. All over the world, you still got slavery. In the USA, we abolished it. In UK, they abolished it. Other parts of the world, it's still on and cracking. And what she also said was that she worked for her before in Uganda. What that means is that she had slaves in Uganda, or at least one slave in Uganda. All right. So, yeah, she was convicted. It ain't just a rumor or it was a charge. Nah, she got convicted. That's already over with. Okay. Now, the migrants being deported, 500,000 of them, which is a low number. Let's watch some of this, shall we?
Josefina Romero weeps for her son, who is being held in a high-security prison in El Salvador. He's one of...
for real, The tears do not move me.
The hundreds of Venezuelan migrants deported from the U.S. for their alleged ties to the notorious Tren de Aragua gang. But Romero says her son is not a criminal and demanded that El Salvador's president send him home.
My baby didn't do nothing.
Please bring him back to Venezuela. He's done nothing there with other Venezuelans. Send him back. If he wants justice, he can seek justice with criminals there. They don't belong to the Tren de Aragua. The fact that they have tattoos does not mean they belong to the Tren de Aragua. Nowadays, everyone has tattoos.
My baby didn't do nothing.
Last weekend, U.S. President Donald Trump invoked an 18th century wartime law to deport alleged members of Tren de Aragua, which the White House has declared a terrorist group and alien enemy. The migrants are being held in El Salvador under an agreement with the local government. Romero and other families in Venezuela made the tattoo connection after reading on social media that U.S. authorities had linked having tattoos to the gang. Yuli has been searching for her brother. She is one of several Venezuelan families whose relatives have disappeared. Her brother Yon arrived to the U.S. last October after securing an appointment to request asylum, where he was later detained. Yon is a tattoo artist with tattoos of his own, but she says he has no criminal record or ties to the gang. Venezuela's interior minister said on Friday that none of the Venezuelans deported by the U.S. to El Salvador is a member of Tren de Aragua. Later on Friday, the judge who temporarily blocked the Trump administration from deporting the Venezuelans under the obscure law said government lawyers had been intemperate and disrespectful. The judge said he is also considering whether officials violated his order on March 15th by failing to return 2 planes carrying the deportees that landed in El Salvador.
Activist judges gotta go. Matter of fact, we could send the judges on the same plane over there.
Ordered Justice Department officials to provide an explanation.
Look, you see the tag? Look at this. Look at this right here. My baby, I know he has a whole back tattoo that looks pretty gang affiliated, but he's not a gang member. He's not a gang member. I mean, we caught him in New York City with drugs and guns and things of this nature. He has a gang tattoo on his back, but my baby wouldn't do anything. My baby's a good boy. My baby didn't do nothing.
To provide an explanation by Tuesday. Trump has said he would not defy any court orders and told reporters that his administration has the authority to, quote, get bad people out of our country.
These are hard, tough criminals, and we have to get them out. And you can't stop that with a judge sitting behind a bench that has no idea what goes on.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security said on Friday that it will revoke legal protections for hundreds of thousands of Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, setting them up for potential deportation in about a month. The order applies to over 530,000 people from the 4 countries who came to the U.S. since October 2022. They arrived with financial sponsors and were given 2-year permits to live and work in the U.S., but will lose their legal status on April 24th or 30 days after the publication of the notice in the Federal Register.
All right, so there we go. So shout out to Trump for making this happen. That's what should have happened. Get up out of here. Gotta go. All right, now the DOE, Department of Education. Let's check this out. Then we're going to get to some calls.
The President of the United States is expected to sign this executive order later on this afternoon during an event at the White House. And yes, it could have huge effects not only on schools here in New York City, but across the country as well. Important to remember that actually closing the Federal Department of Education takes an act of Congress, which created it in 1979. But short of that, the president can dictate what the department does or doesn't do. The president has already slashed the department's workforce in half. New York City gets about $2 billion each year from the department to fund important programs in its schools. While we haven't seen the text of this executive order just yet, losing some or all of that money would be devastating. What could be on the chopping block? Well, the city could lose money for so-called Title I schools, which educate predominantly low-income students, meaning the achievement gap between rich and poor students could widen.
Can I say something right quick? I mean, I feel like the money argument with schools is completely BS. Because here's my question to any educators out there. What will the money do to help poorly performing children perform better? That's what I want to know. Because, like I said before, both of my grandparents on my dad's side were teachers. Granddad was the first black teacher in Roanoke Public Schools in Virginia. He integrated, like when the schools got integrated, he was the first black teacher in Roanoke. So I know a little bit about education, just a little bit. And what I know is that money is not going to help you learn how to read or how to count. What will help you with that is early education. Early education. It doesn't matter how much money you throw. Listen, and they got the whole thing with the voucher school. Okay, you can get a voucher. Like, let's say you're a kid in poor environment, your parents don't care, whatever. If you go to a quote unquote better school, will that help you dramatically? If your parents still don't care about your education, you're not getting any early education, you're already in the third grade, you can't read, will money close the gap between you and the next person who can read and is on grade level or above grade level? Is it going to close it? When you got kids over in China being educated better than us, and they're not spending anywhere near as much money as we are, you got to ask yourself, is money the problem or is it something else that's going on? I think it's something else that's happening here. All right.
The city could also lose funding to help students with disabilities. One caveat here, important to remember, Education Secretary Linda McMahon has said that she is not in favor of cutting spending on Title I programs or on those that help disabled students. Meal programs could also be at risk, which is significant since some students rely on schools to provide them with the bulk of the food that they eat each day.
A lot of these programs will still be there. It's not going to be a big thing. And I've read that only about 10% of school funding comes from the federales. And just because the DOE is going away does not mean the funding will end necessarily, because you still got other departments that can do it. Department of the Treasury, etc. And I think school lunches come from Department of Agriculture, actually. So they're just scaring people into wanting to keep the DOE. But in reality, the DOE, all they do is just try to control local school districts from the federal government, which is not what should be happening. The states should have control over what their students learn and how their students learn.
The president has spoken about closing the DOE for months now. He has said that the department wastes taxpayer dollars and is made up of, quote, radicals, zealots, and Marxists. He issued this directive to McMahon, his education secretary.
I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. And what I want to do is let the states run schools.
Who's going to be the victim? Americans' kids, America's school children.
And look at Bernie and all these people, all these fossils, all these museum fossils on stage talking. Shut up.
And college students could also be affected, those who receive Pell Grants and student loans.
This right here is Fox 5 New York, so they're going to be biased. They're going to be liberal. Pell Grant, student loans, that'll go back to the Treasury. So you still gonna get your monies. I mean, that's just, and you know what? You know what I think? Hot take, as I said before in my video, I think that the government should get out of the student loan process. The government being involved with student loans makes education expensive, prohibitively so, because the colleges can charge whatever they want to charge for tuition, because they know, regardless of what, if the student gets a federal loan, that loan will be paid. It will be paid because it comes from your money, your taxpayer money. And the feds have unique and exclusive ways to collect their debts from you that a private lender cannot. The feds can go in your bank account and take money out. They can intercept, they can intercept your tax return. They can do things that a private lender cannot do. All a private person can do, or like a bank, all they can do is just give you a bad credit score, put you in collections, but they cannot garnish your wages. They cannot take tax return money. They cannot take your bank account. The feds can. So when they were talking about, oh, we're going to forgive student loan debt, I was like, I knew immediately that would never happen, because that's a debt the government has the power to take from you, the same as child support. Child support is the exact same thing. I saw my friend's credit report, and It was on there. And what it said was not just child support. It said Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's a state debt. I understand. It makes total sense. They can lock you up for not paying child support. They cannot do that for a regular debt. Debtors' prisons are illegal unless you owe the state. So the moral of the story is get the federal government out of money, because they can go do things that should not be done to collect that from you. Also, one more thing. A lot of these kids who go to college shouldn't. One more time. A lot of these kids who go to college should not go to college. If you barely could read when you were in high school, why are you going to college? All you're going to do is just get a big debt on your back you can't pay back. Once you graduate, you're going to be a Starbucks barista at best when you're 35 years old with a mountain of debt on your back. If you want to be a barista, just go do that without going to college and racking up this debt you can't pay off. Just do that in high school and keep doing that. That's fine. Why would you go to college and get the debt on your back knowing you're not going to do anything with that degree? Underwater basket weaving. You have a degree in some kind of obscure thing, Black history. What are you going to do with that degree? What job are you going to get with a Black history degree? I say study it on your own time. I do that on my own time. I don't need to go pay somebody thousands of dollars that I can't pay back to learn that. I got a phone right here I can read. I know how to read very well. I read it on my own time rather than paying them to do it. But anyway, and the funniest part is that you go get a degree in Black history and it'd be a bunch of white liberals teaching you. That'd be the funniest part. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. And we got a new number. I done already forgot what it was. 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. That will also be in the ticker at a certain point, but it'll be in the description box all the time. There it is, 706-406-3287. All right. But before I get to the calls, we got super chats on deck. Thank you to Michael Critchlow. Already read that one about our guy, George Bell. Shout out to George Bell, RIP. Thank you to Lou Marzanano for the thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Alicia Salvatore, who says, hey, ABL, I'm excited about tonight's topics. Shout out to you for being here. Thank you to Tony Nagy, who says, blessings to ABL and everyone in chat. Thank you to Ricardo Millen, who says, great work always, ABL. Thank you for that, boss. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says, they fight for genocidal maniacs to be in our country. Thank you to Val for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Jaleisha, who says, ABL, it's so funny when you roast on people. It makes me laugh so much. You're a winner, and I always look forward to your shows. You're handsome, too. Thank you for that. You're far too kind. I appreciate you. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says, we have sexual offense and exposure laws, but this is okay. Thank you to Elizabeth Capone Cook for the trophy emoji. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Whalers860, who says, RIP George Foreman. You will always be the champ, 100%. Thank you to Wyatt Henderson, who says, when is somebody else's money, you don't care. When it's my money, I do care. Right on. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says, ABL, these illegals are threatening to take up arms. They can try, but guess what? This is America. So we got arms too. This ain't Australia. Shout out to Australia. But we have arms too. All right. So try it if you want to. We'll see how that goes. Thank you to Brian Henderson, who says, deport fast, deport now, got to go. Thank you to Clemmum, who says, I just want to shout out my brother Sean. He's an ABL enjoyer and actually, believe it or not, a huge Timothy Waltz fan. Okay. Shout out to Tampon Tim and shout out to your brother, Sean. Hey, if you're watching, Sean, thank you for watching. Tampon Tim, if you like it, I love it. Not my guy. Ain't my cup of tea. Too many jazz hands and whatnot. Okay, but if you like it, I love it. It's all good, man. Thank you for joining. Let's get to some calls here. Okay, I got my new setup cracking over on the Googles. Okay, because y'all know Skype to kick the bucket. Skype dead. So now I'm using I am using the Googles, the new number, 706-406-3287. Did I get that right? 706-406-3287. I got it right. There we go. 706-406-3287. That's the number to call. Again, the number will always be in the box and in the ticker below. I'll put it right here in the chat as well. All right, let's do that. And we are ready to roll. If you tried to call a little bit earlier, I had my D&D on, but now I think I'm good to go to be able to receive call. Thank you for the number right there, Sheree. I appreciate you. All right, yeah, Google Voice. That's what I'm on right now because Skype did. And I think what happened last time is that I had canceled my number renewal because it wasn't no point. If Skype's going to die in May, I might as well go ahead and get started on my new number right now rather than wait until the very end when I know that, it ain't gonna work anymore. Yeah, no more Skype. Microsoft is discontinuing Skype and it'll be done officially in May. When you, and since I can't use Skype anymore, I can't use that number anymore. That's what's happening right now. Okay, am I seeing stuff? Hold on. All right, yeah, I think I see some numbers coming in. But I mean, it's cool so far. Google Voice. I'm not really mad at it, but it's working. It does a job so far. 830, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Say again?
830, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
No way.
Yes, way.
Oh my God. Hey, I got a Trump derangement syndrome story for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, here's a story. Somebody I love, somebody I've known a long time, a federal worker, had a situation. She had to decide whether to take the buyout or not. I told her to take the buyout. It was worth $75,000 to her. She decided not to. Then she had to commute to work, and she decided not to. Then she got fired. Didn't get the buyout money, just got fired. But it's my fault because I voted for Trump. That's my Trump derangement syndrome story.
That is crazy. And the thing about it is, Trump gave the warning. He's like, look, we coming. So check it out. Here's the buyout. You take the buyout because and he said throughout the entire time, we're going to cut down on waste, fraud, and abuse. We're going to cut down on the size of the government. We're offering you a way out now. So, hey, you didn't take it. You did not heed the warning.
Right. But the problem is this. A lot of people in America are listening to a different information stream of people lying to them and saying things that aren't true, and they believe it, and the reality is different. See, I listen to people like you and other people of similar like minds and get the truth, and I try to pass it on to people I know, but they're receiving other information that's coming from other people that isn't true, and the whole thing just gets like mixed up.
Right, exactly. Well, hopefully she learned from this and will read the room next time and make a better decision.
Yeah, true. Hey, I got a question about your beard.
Okay.
It looks great, but I'm kind of wondering, I'm older than you. You're young. Why is it white?
I don't know, man. I think it's hereditary because granddad was like this and so was dad. So I don't know what that is, where that comes from, but it's hereditary.
Oh, okay. I thought you were dying to make yourself look like me.
Nah, not at all. It's just, and really, I've been gray for a long time, probably since I've been like 32.
All right, man. Hey, it's looking great. Love the show. I watch all the time. I'm going to keep on watching.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you have a good one. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. If my audio is messed up, I think maybe I didn't fix it properly last time. I'm going to try to get it right the next time. But I thought I had it fixed, but I guess not. Let's keep on rocking here. 5-5 now, your line speaker 2.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, ABL. I'm with so I just wanted to say that I love your videos, and my uncle watches you all the time. His name, or he's my uncle, and I just wanted to say that you and your videos are amazing. God bless America. Love Trump, and I love everybody. God bless America. I love you, and like actually, your channel is the best, and we watch it all the time.
Thank you for your call, man. I really, really appreciate it. How old are you, by the way? How old are you?
I'm 13.
Well, hey, man, you off to a right start, listening to the right messaging. You're not being brainwashed like some of your classmates might be. So, hey, man, good on you, man. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. Have a nice day.
Same to you now. All right, shout out to the young man, 13 years old, listening to ABL with your uncle. Hey, uncle, if you're watching, shout out to you, bro. You doing the right thing by your nephew, man. Shout out to you. I love that always makes my day when I hear the young people listening, because they're not being brainwashed. They're not going to go down the wrong path. They're going to get the proper instruction. So that right there is a prime example. You get good parents listening to the right thing. You get good family around you. That's fantastic. Shout out to the young man. Shout out to your uncle as well. 512, you don't allow him to speak it to. Hello, 512.
Hello, ABL. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. This is the New Yorican turned Texan from the last couple of Saturdays. I got you again. The Automotive Truth. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
I got a couple things for you this weekend. So one thing I want to ask you, why is it that we're getting so much, or I should say this administration is getting so much flack from the other side when it comes to federal employees getting furloughed or laid off or whatever? When Barack laid like 850,000, George Bush his thousands, but now Trumpito laid off 30,000, and the world is going crazy.
Well, the reason is because anything that Trump does is bad. It doesn't matter. He could save a cat from a burning tree, then they would say that he did something wrong. So it doesn't matter. Anything he does is bad.
Bad man, bad orange man. The other thing was I wanted to, did you see that other Charlie Kirk video with the young man at the college dressed in, I don't know what he was dressed in, but he had knots in his hair, and he was like Jussie Smollett part 2. If you didn't, you got to show it on your show, because it's hilarious, and how outrageous it was for him to say that, you know, the whole story again, the MAGA man, and asking him, you know, that they wanted to do something to him. And I mean, so crazy. And Charlie just shut him down. Charlie is on fire. I got to tell you, I love his videos.
Yeah, Charlie is amazing. He's been like that for a long time. I love what he does. And then Turning Point as an organization, they're good too.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. But check out the video and talk about it, because it's crazy. I don't know if you have. Have you seen the video?
I have not. I gotta find it. So I'll probably talk about it next stream when I find it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. I hate to see the youth turn out this way, but, you know, and it's not even the youth, you know, it's just in the colleges, I can say, because, you know, from babies to grandmas to uncles are just gone crazy.
Yeah, it's really a mess.
ABL, I appreciate speaking to you every week, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to you guys. You guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let me help me out tremendously. All right, let's go to 843. You don't allow him to speak it to.
Hey, Anthony, this is Tyler. Long time, buddy. How you doing?
It's all good, man. Been a long time. How's everything going?
Oh, real good, real good. Now the daddy's home and back running the show, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm up here working. Actually, he's talking about Tampon Tim. I'm actually staring at Minnesota. I'm in Wisconsin, but thinking off about Tampon 10. I was thinking about one opponent maybe for him would be, let's say, like Tulsi Gabbard or something like that.
Oh, that'd be
or
pretty
maybe
interesting.
Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that. I'm thinking Jazz Hands might be able to handle something like that.
Hey, that might be a match, but I think even they are too much for him. I think they even got more masculine energy than he does.
Yeah, ain't nobody been buying that since that day he showed up trying to work on that international scout.
For real.
I know I would take my vehicle to him.
That's right.
But hey, you're a tough man to get a hold of. Believe me, I try, Anthony. But you keep fighting the fight, man. We love your show.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, good luck with Ivan. Keep punching him, bro. Don't let up on him.
I got you, boss. We'll do.
You know he's got the phone in hand right now, getting ready to do his fizzle.
So. Oh, I already know how it is. Absolutely.
Right. Go ahead and dust him off real quick. All right, Anthony. Have a good one, brother.
Same to you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Great call. Shout out to Tyler. Great call. Let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 918. Hello.
Hey, Bill. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, good, man.
What's happening, boss?
Great to see what's going on with
Hello? All right, I don't know what's going on. My man, hey, the Obama phone is just not operating properly. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. I didn't even hang up on him. The call just dropped. So, yeah, shout out to the caller. Hopefully your phone gets the minutes refreshed. Okay, we're not quite at EBT refresh time, but hopefully you get a refresh before then. I'm just playing. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Did I get that right? 706-406-3287 is the number to call. There's no more Skypes because Skype about to be dead. Now I'm on the Googles. I'm on Google Voice with the new number. Okay, so we doing a new number in 2025. I had that 423 for forever. I don't know how long I had that number, but it's been years. But hey, man, you got to change. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining me here. Okay. I asked somebody to call, and then it just said, nope, not going to do that. So I don't know what's going on. We'll see. All right, let's do 513 in line speaker 2.
Yes. Hi, my name is Jeremiah. I can't believe I actually made it through. I'm a big fan of yours. I've been a fan since about around 2020 or so. But I do have a few points that I'd like to talk to you about. I don't want to take up too much of your time. My first point that I would like to talk about is the shutdown of the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is, okay, I get it. I know there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. I get all that. And I'm not for it either. I want to see it gone. But what do you have to say about the funding that could help out those kids that could really, like, truly benefit from that extra funding? And I'm talking specifically about the Title I schools. The Title I schools where, like, the kids are so poor that, like, the only thing that they can eat are those free lunches, you know. And, like, those Title I schools, they hire a lot of tutors, you know, that can help those problematic children make it over that hump so that they can be somebody later in life. And, like, the reason I feel so passionate about this is because when I was younger, I was one of those kids. I was one of those troubled youths, you know, that was like a class clown, not paying attention. And it was a combination of teachers that actually gave a damn about me and the extra resources that the school was able to put towards me getting tutors and things like that. Like, I went from being one of the lowest performing students, specifically in math, to being one of the highest performing. And I mean, with that support, I was able to go and get a bachelor's degree in accounting. I got my CPA. I'm making six figures. I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. I got ladies I'm about to get married to, and I don't think I would have ever made it to this point if it wasn't for that extra funding that came from the government. If it wasn't for those extra tutor sessions, you know, those extra resources that my school was able to invest in me. So I mean, it's like I get it. You know, I know that you have a lower likelihood of making it if, you know, if you come from parents that don't really care about, you know, which way you go. But I still think that it's worth investing if you can save some of those kids. You know, like, I don't think that we should give up on them altogether.
Okay, so there's a few things. Now, where did you read that the money will be cut for those programs? Like, where'd you see that at? Can you hear me?
Well, yes. Well, one of the articles that I'm subscribed to that I like to read is the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal had an article saying that the specific cuts that Trump is talking about making has a high likelihood of affecting those Title I schools specifically.
Okay, but hold on, I got to interrupt. So did they say that they're going to cut the money, like specifically, directly, or maybe, possibly, which one was it? They
said there's a high likelihood.
Okay, so we don't really know. So okay, now was there anywhere else you saw it?
No, the only place I saw it was the Wall Street Journal.
Okay, so let me just break it down for you. School lunches are not handled by the DOE. It's handled by the USDA. So that's not going to go away. Also, Title I schools, these kind of things, these programs, Lyndon McMahon, who is the Secretary of Education, she came out and said, well, we're not looking to cut those programs. Okay, so, and then, I don't know if you mentioned it, but as far as like student loans and things like that, that'll go to the Department of the Treasury. Although I do think that the student loans should not necessarily.
Actually, Trump did say that he was going to make it go to the SBA for some reason, the Small Business Administration or agency or whatever.
Either way, it'll still be around. So my point is that essential services, things like this, are not going to get cut. The issue with the DOE is that they impose a bunch of federal guidelines on local schools without taking into account what the local area actually needs. And some of these directives that they give are unfunded. It's just, it kind of gets in the way of education. And it's only existed since, 1979? Back in 1980, when it was first formed, Reagan said the exact same thing that Trump is saying right now. Okay, so Reagan in 1980 said this right when it was formed. It was formed in 1979. Reagan in 1980 says the same thing Trump is saying. And it doesn't really help. A lot of the things that they do can be given to other agencies and it'd be just fine. What the problem is with them is that, like I said, they issue directives on schools that should not be the job to actually do. One of the things they did back in the day was the Michelle Obama school lunches, which was a big flop, a big, huge flop. That came from the feds. Stuff like that we're looking to actually cut. And we don't need 3,000 employees to do the essential things that could be placed upon others' laps and other agencies. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So the things you're talking about, I don't think you're going to actually be in jeopardy of losing that. I think it's just a matter of not having so much red tape and bureaucracy from the DOE. Also, you have your local DOEs. You have your state for K through 12, your state DOE for college. There's also county level DOEs. Sometimes you have city DOEs. So your tutors and whatnot that you were getting, that could still come from the state. So I don't really see, and also one more thing, only about 10% of schooling is funded by DOE, and a lot of those funds will still be doled out just by different agencies.
But my thing is, how can we trust that that'll actually happen? Because, I mean, ever since Trump has gotten into office, it's just
what?
A lot of chaos going on.
What chaos?
Well, for starters, I mean, Trump is just trying to bulldoze his whole his whole agenda by executive orders instead of going through Congress that's ran by Republicans.
But hold on.
Like,
Hold on. Before you
Yeah.
get into it, how was that different than Joe Biden though? Because he did the same thing. He came in office. Everybody does executive orders. Everybody does that. The reason why the border was open is because of Joe Biden's executive orders opening the border. When Trump was in, the border was closed. Biden comes in, has executive orders, and the border's open. Everyone does this. So how is Trump different than anybody else when it comes to executive orders?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you. For example, Bill Clinton, he was able to balance the budget and put us in a surplus. And when he went through that process, he did it by the book. He didn't just bulldoze his way with a bunch of executive orders. He actually went through Congress. He talked to people on both sides of the aisle. He got together research committees to really figure out the positions that we do need versus the ones that we didn't. He actually talked with the leaders of each of the big agencies to figure out where the fat was.
Respectfully.
Like, why can't Trump do that?
Respectfully, that was how many years ago now? 32 years ago? 33 years ago? That's a long time ago. 1992 was when Bill Clinton got elected. So anybody that was not in the early 90s, late 80s?
Well, I don't see how that's not relevant when
I'm just saying.
I thought that the Republican Party was the party of doing things by the book, the rule of law, the Constitution.
I mean, is he doing something that's illegal?
Well, technically, yes.
Is it illegal? It's not technically either it is or it isn't.
He literally said that he wants to dismantle the Department of Education. He wants to cancel it. But we all know that he can't do that without the approval of Congress. So now he's going through this other avenue to, gut the employees from it. But originally he wanted to shut that whole department down. Like he was going to do it.
But here's the question though. Is he doing anything that's illegal? Yes or no?
Well, I think that
yes or no?
giving Elon Musk just unchecked access
I get
to
it.
all of our
I get it. I
understand.
understand how you feel. But is he doing anything that's illegal? Yes or no? Please answer the question.
I think that giving Elon Musk
you're not answering the question. Is he, one more time, yes or no, please?
Yes.
Is he doing anything illegal?
Yes. My answer is yes.
So is he going to go to court? Why is there no impeachment? They already impeached him twice. Why is there nothing about this? Is anybody going on TV, the liberals that don't like him, that already impeached him twice, that had him in court action all these different times, why are they not saying that he's doing anything that's illegal? They'd be the main ones that should say it, right?
Well, the district judges have been saying that what he's been trying to do is illegal.
That wasn't my question.
All of those. He just been forced to reinstate like thousands of federal workers.
But listen, that wasn't my question, though. You're not answering the question. See, when you're not answering questions, I know the answer to them. That's a dead giveaway. I asked you the question about, is he doing something that's illegal? It took a lot for you to say yes. And then I asked you, well, the people who want him to be in prison, people that impeached him, the politicians, they're still there. They've been there since the civil rights movement and they're still in office. Why are they not getting on TV and saying this man is doing things that are illegal? He's breaking the law and we're going to impeach him. Shouldn't they be the ones that are saying that?
Well, I mean, if the judges...
I didn't ask you about the judges. I said the politicians.
So we're just going to ignore the judges.
I'm asking you a question.
The other branch
Sir, listen. I'm asking you a question. You got to answer the question. Let's stick to the question. Why aren't the politicians saying anything when they're the main ones who impeached them twice? They're still in office. It's the same people that's been there. Your Nancy Pelosi, your Chuck Schumer. They're still there. Why aren't they saying anything? Do you have an answer to the question?
Well, to be honest, I think they just gave up because it's like no matter what they try to stick on Trump, it never works. They've tried to impeach him. You know, nothing happened. Every time they tried, I think they just gave up, to be honest with you.
At the end of the day, Trump's not doing anything illegal. He has the power to do certain things. You're talking about.
So
wait, hold on. Let me finish. Now you're talking about the DOE, Department of Education. You're correct in saying that he cannot abolish it without congressional approval, but he can most certainly reduce their power. He has that ability to do it. That's why he has to shut it down, because he can't do that. He can reduce it. He can fire people. He could do that. He can reassign roles to other agencies, rendering them irrelevant. But as far as officially abolishing it, you gotta go through Congress. He could do other things. He's doing things legally. It would be illegal to straight up abolish it because you need congressional approval. So he's doing things legally, although you may not like the way he's going about it, it is legal. And if it wasn't legal, you would have Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all the Democratic Party on TV saying that you can't do it. That's the truth.
So we're just going to sit here and act like Chief Justice Roberts didn't like verbally reprimand Trump for all the illegal actions that he's trying to take. Like we're just going to act like that never happened.
Say what you want, but okay, if you say I committed a crime, charge me with it. You already didn't impeach me twice. You already tried to shoot me. You already had me in court in New York, in Georgia. Okay, if I did something illegal, then charge me with it, and then we'll go to court. They love going to court, but they don't want to go to court now. I wonder why. Because they can't, because he's not doing anything wrong. They don't like it. They don't like it, and they want to talk crazy. But
6 or 7 different cases in a row. He lost the case about firing all of those federal workers. He's lost cases about darn it. Oh my goodness.
There's more. Look, caller, there's more we can get into, but I got like no more time. Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to the caller. That was a little bit too much. I give it too much time, like 15 minutes. We don't got that much time. All right, let's go. 310. You don't line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ryan from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, pretty good, man. That was a rough one, brother. That was a rough one. I don't know why people just can't just go ahead and admit that they just don't like Trump. They don't like change in America. Change is here. The Department of Education, what Trump did was masterful. You know what? He couldn't eliminate it because, like I said, it needs Congress to get rid of it. Jimmy Carter got it started through executive order, and then yet it went through Congress to become a whole new agency. So, Trump, all he's doing is allocating the funds to go somewhere else to better serve our people and the people who need this funding for their education. What we really need is the parents to take part in their children, to love their children enough to educate them. Unfortunately, we have so many stupid parents that are ignorant because they didn't get an education. They didn't take advantage of getting an education. I'm just talking about the ones that having all these here babies and carrying on. They're not really participating in their children's lives like they should. Instead, they want to go out and be, hot mama and big daddy, instead of taking care of their kids. Become one as a unit. Invest in their kids and their future. This is what people need to do. And take part in what's going on in their schools locally, going to the PTA meetings if they still have those things, and see what's going on in those schools so they make sure those kids are getting a righteous education instead of a righteous indoctrination. This is what's going on. When they're going ahead and putting all kinds of other flags except the American flags, they're supposed to be in the classroom, saying the Pledge of Allegiance and hopefully they get back and start praying in the school to cast out all these demons that they're bringing into their schools and everything. I'm telling you, this is what we need to do. America is not hopeless. There is hope for America, but unfortunately, when you have people that don't want to have change, this is what we need to do. America needs to be changed. Doge is doing a great thing as far as like finding the fat, getting rid of it, stopping this grip that's going on in America. That's our money. That's my money that they're wasting, spending, throwing away. I send plenty of taxes their way, but I don't want my taxes going across over the ocean, funding no wars, funding any other slavery that they got going on. Man, that was a crack up. That lady have a slave in here and just go ahead and do diplomatic immunity. Yeah, right, diplomatic immunity. They do anything they want. That's what's happening. People just doing anything they want these days, across the world. And unfortunately, even in our country, that this type of stuff is going on too. You think slavery not going on here? Hey, they bringing it in. Joe Biden them, they brought that stuff in. That's what this whole illegal thing's all about. Just bringing in to our country another form of slavery. And but we're going to clean up this here, America. We're cleaning it up, sending them out, send them to El Salvador. Let's get those prisons filled up. And not only that, let's try to go ahead and model our prison like theirs. We got plenty of vacant land that towns is dying and everything. And these are places where we can go ahead and put up new camps that they could go ahead and grow their own farm and everything like that, and revive those dying towns. This is what we need to do. But you know what? I still got hope for our country. There is hope. There's hope in America. God bless America. God bless what President Trump and Elon Musk are doing. These crazies that's out there burning down Teslas and everything like that, marking up other people's vehicles and everything. Like I said, these people need to be prosecuted, and the people that's funding them, like you said, need to be found out and prosecuted. And unfortunately for us, we have people in office right now that's going to do the righteous thing and standing up for what is really righteous and get these people locked up. They need to be locked up because this is what's going on. They're trying to tear down our country. We're trying to build it up. We love our country. You, me, we all, everybody in the chat, we love our country, and we're tired of seeing these people trying to tear it down, talking bad about our country. Anyway, beloved, I just say God bless you, brother. I'm just trying to keep my blood pressure down today. I love you guys, and you know what? Just keep on praying, keep on saying what you do, brother. I love you. God bless you, man. Have a good day.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You too.
All right. Great call. And shout out to the callers. You guys are fantastic. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Hold on, let me turn this thing off because it's going to be loud. Hey, the thing is that we must balance the budget. Like, I don't understand how people cannot get that. That we have to have a balanced budget. We can't be broke. You can't live day to day. Even you and I, like, what happens when we owe people money? What happens?
Or they're going to collect,
right? Like, eventually, China's going to come get it. Like, we owe China a lot of money. It's just a matter of time. They're going to come get it. And I don't understand how these people don't understand that. We have all these programs. Yeah, they're great. They could be great if we had the money to do it. But we're $37 trillion in debt. Like, how can you expect anybody, even $1,000 in debt? You can't go out and buy a video game or whatever you want to buy for the kid, anything for the kid. You got no money. You got nothing.
That's right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, the way we're going with just the printing, the spending, and the debt, it's unsustainable, and it has to come to an end. We got to do something drastic to stop the bleeding, because if we don't, it's over.
It is. And thank God someone with the courage, like Elon, he didn't have to do this. He don't have to do any of this. You know, he had the courage enough to go, hey, I can help. And if everybody said that could, imagine where we'd be. Just a little bit at a time. Someone says, hey, I can help here. I can help in my local town. I can do this. I can do that. Just little things. Because we don't need to be spending money. We need to be helping each other out. There's no reason to spend when we have everybody around us. We just need to help each other out.
Right on, absolutely.
What about this stuff with Russia? What do you think is going to happen with the whole ceasefire thing?
I think everything will be fine at the end of the day. I'm not really worried about that too much at all.
You think Putin's going to back off, or you think he's going to push for more land?
I think that everything will be fine. I'm not really sure what he's going to do. To be totally honest, I don't really care about what they do over there, because really that's going to be an issue. But my thing is, if they take Ukraine or they take more land or whatnot, to me that's not really the issue, because that's more of a Ukraine thing. My issue is the war. I like for the fighting to come to an end, and I like for us to stop funding the war. That's my concern.
Yeah. Definitely.
So whether Ukraine becomes, it's more land they see or whatever needs to be done to stop the fighting, I'm with it.
Yeah. The best thing I could think could happen would be kind of similar to North Korea, right? Where they put like a DMZ, like, hey, no fighting here. No NATO, no nothing, this zone kind of thing?
Nah, because that's still U.S. involvement. I don't want us to be involved. I want them to handle their own problems and for us to not be involved.
So you think that the Europeans are going to handle it?
I don't know. I don't really care too much about the Europeans. My thing is let's not have the Americans be involved, and let's let the war come to an end. So however that happens, that's on them. But let's not be involved with it. Thank you for your call, man. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I appreciate him. Let's go. 781, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. This is Peter from Boston. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm all right. So I want to just talk to you about the Department of Education real quick. So as far as I understand, since it was created, basically, I don't know, this might not be fully, but like if you zoom out, since it was created to now, students have gotten stupider and college has gotten more expensive. Two bad things. I don't like the Department of Education. I don't like big government. We're a constitutional federal republic because of the way our government works, with states having their own sovereignty, having their own power, blah, blah, blah. I like power to the states. Same thing with overturning Roe v. Wade. Put it to the states, whatever. With the Roe v. Wade thing, a lot of states that are conservative, of course, they're going to be more conservative with that, and liberal states are going to be more liberal and say, yeah, do whatever you want. You can get a 10-month abortion, fine. What I'm worried about with getting rid of the Department of Education, unfortunately, like I said, I'm from Boston. I live like 40 minutes north of Boston, and my son is in the Massachusetts public school system. What I'm worried about, and maybe you could help calm my worries here, is if the federal, the Department of Education goes away, then that gives a conservative administration less leverage over liberal states. Like they wouldn't be able to say, all right, well, you got to get rid of the transgender stuff. You got to get rid of the gay stuff. None of that in the public schools, or we're not giving you money. And then the public schools say, all right, all right, fine, we'll get rid of it because we need the funding. If the Department of Education is gone, the only thing I worry about is that a state like Massachusetts will ramp up the liberal stuff in the schools just to kind of get back at the Trump administration. Like, look at us, we can do what we want now. And like, that's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't want my son to be in an environment where that stuff's like used as ammo, from liberals. Do you think that's something that could happen?
I don't know about that part, but what I do know is, let's just say you're correct, and we lose that leverage over states when it comes to transgenders in bathrooms and locker rooms, things of this nature. If that's right, then the opposite is true as well. Let's say after Trump's term, God forbid, there's a Democrat in office. They can use that to bully us and say, well, you got to do this and do that. So they're going to do things that we don't like, if that's the issue. I would rather have it be up to the individual states so we can decide, rather than having the feds say, you got to do X, Y, and Z. Because right now it could benefit us because we got Trump. But if we don't have Trump, then we're going to be in the worst situation. The best thing would be to have the individual states have power. So if you want to do all that extra weird stuff, go to California. And when their people say, you know what, we don't like this, we've had enough, then they can vote to change it. Rather than the feds in there, and now all states got to pretty much just bow down.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to go, like getting rid of it and making it suffocate a little bit and eventually getting rid of it. It's got to go. And my concern only just comes from, unfortunately, the fact that I live here in Massachusetts and my family's from here, it's like, I'm kind of stuck here. So that's where the only thing, like, I thought, oh man, like, wait a minute. I love the idea of getting rid of the Department of Education, but will Massachusetts and their nonsense crank it up a bit because they can? I guess we could wait and see how that goes. And at the end of the day, if it becomes a real problem, then there's always private school. There's always other options. But I'm just happy. I'm happy with everything the way it's playing out. I mean, if you look at, like I said in the beginning, the statistics kind of show it's not working. The Department of Education is not working. And the big thing that a lot of people aren't talking about is that DOE does a lot of the FAFSA and a lot of the Pell Grants. And since they do that, basically subsidizing colleges have just said, all right, cool, well, we'll just charge $10,000 for this course when it used to be $10,000 for a full degree. We can just keep charging more and more and more. And that's another big thing people don't really talk about that is absurd, because that benefits all Americans. If you want to go to college and you can't because it's so expensive, you don't want the loans. The problem is that the schools, they're charging so much, but it's not, what they're giving you is not worth what they're charging. There's a big discrepancy there because they just charge so much and so many people get grants from the government. So it's got to go, man. It'll be great to see everything change. I mean, there's so much change going on right now, and liberals are freaking out, and the eggs are still expensive. It's like, okay, but you got to look between the lines here. Like, eggs were expensive because of inflation, because of printing money, because of Biden's plan. Now things aren't really changing as much and as fast as people were hoping, because we're reworking the way our country is working from its foundation. We're rebuilding the foundation, and that takes some time. And like Trump said, we might feel it a little bit, but I'm looking forward to the future, man. I'm just excited about everything, and I appreciate you, and I'm glad you're here as always, and I hope you have a great night, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to you guys again for being here. If you could not get on tonight, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. But I will see you guys again on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time too, right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat, and whatever you do. I could not do this show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate you as well. This is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All righty, we got super chats right quick. I'll read these and then wrap it on up and put the bowl clean on top. Let's go to Bull, who says, thanks for the laughs while I'm at work. Love what you do. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Jaleisha, who says, have you tried Grok? That's the Twitter AI. I've used that before. It's so cool. Yeah, I've used Grok to do thumbnails, but I also use Venice. Shout out to Venice, one of my sponsors. They have really bright and colorful thumbnails that I can generate, like AI thumbnails. Yeah, so shout out to Venice, shout out to Grok as well. A big YouTuber, I ain't gonna say his name, I don't know if I want to put him out there, but he was searching some things on Grok, and it was something about like making content, like making good YouTube content, and my name was in there, and it just came up. He was asking the general question, not about me, but about making YouTube videos about politics and stuff like that. And then Grok, the Twitter AI, had mentioned me, and it mentioned what's the young lady that's like a libertarian on YouTube? She has it's the best way to describe her. She has a cute voice. I forget her name. I'm gonna go find that right now. But basically, I'm in the Grok AI. They recognize who I am. And the general message was that me and a young lady, have relatable points of view, and we're not abrasive, and we don't curse. It's like family friendly and approachable. Let me see if I can find the young lady. It was, hold on. See, now I got to find it. Wait a minute. Y'all just bear with me because I'm going to find this. Julie Borowski. That's her name. Julie Borowski. Yep. It says, love it or hate it, divisive issues like immigration, free speech, or identity politics drive clicks. The trick is execution. Don't just yell into the void like everybody else. Back it up with stats or a personal story. Anthony Brian Logan and Julie Borowski grew by hitting these nerves with a clear stance but relatable vibes. Okay, that was in the Grok AI, so they recognize who we are. So shout out to, since the Twitter AI knows me, that means to know y'all as well. So y'all are famous. Hey, clap for yourself. All right. And if you guys don't know who that is, you guys go search for her. Can I show you a Julie video right quick? A lot of y'all know who that is. But I'm going to show you a video of her so you can kind of understand what the AI was talking about.
If you block traffic during a protest, I'm for whatever you're against, because you're inconsiderate. These anti-Trump protesters.
So this is one of her, this is an old video, but this was when I first saw her, because the way she was talking, you're inconsiderate. Like stuff like that, I like a lot. Like I said, it's a cute voice, and she's smart with it, and she's very approachable. If you hate Julie Borowski, you're just a bad person, really. You're just hating her is like hating children that are like going to the ice cream truck. It's like, come on. But anyway, she's a great YouTuber. Shout out to her. And the whole point behind me naming her was because the Twitter AI called Grok mentioned us when it came to how to produce good, relatable political content. Okay? All right, now, what else we got? Shout out to Blast Radius, who says they should call Donna Lemon and Reed's new podcast. I ain't gonna say that. Hey, I cannot say that. What's your name? Blast Radius. I can't say the B word, man. I can't say the B word because, and the B word is not the B word you're thinking about. It's a new B word. It's a 2025 B word. I can't say that. So yeah, shout out to Blast Radius for the super chat. But that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.